jokers is very important. Nezha, I'll start with you. Yesterday, now surely Team Africa, you have to have a very strong second day.
Oui, malheureusement, on a effectué des erreurs hier l'après-midi, mais on va essayer aujourd'hui, today, de s'améliorer, plus de performance, plus de classement.
Okay, so you enjoyed yesterday, but your team are going to have to step up and perform today. So Jana, who is your joker for today?
We're going to go with the women's javelin first up. So the second one we'll keep in the bag, but I'm pretty confident the girls will do well.
And Colin, you were very good with your tactics yesterday. Who is your first joker today for Team Europe?
Well, my first joker has to be in the 110-meter hurdles. We've got the world leader, Shebenkov, the European champion, Pascal Lagarde. So for me, it's a strong joker.
And Mike, you were relaxed yesterday. You were loving it. You're a chilled-out man. Who's your first joker today?
Well, we got the world champion and the gold medalist and probably soon to be world record holder, sorry, Jonathan Edwards, in the triple jump, men's triple jump.
Triple jump. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic day. We will reveal the second jokers later as we chat to the captains throughout the day. This is how it's all going to pan out.
A little revelation there for the 4 jokers. This is how it looks at the halfway stage of the competition. Africa are in 4th place. Disappointment for them in both the sprint relays yesterday. Asia Pacific just a little way ahead in 3rd. Europe trailing the leaders, the Americas, by 12 points. The jokers are played by each of the team captains. They've got 2 across the afternoon, 1 in the men's events, 1 in the females, and it simply means if their athletes win the event between the 2 of them, then they will pick up double the points, 8 for a win and 16 in the case of the jokers being played. A great afternoon. It starts with the men's hammer. We finish with the mixed 4x4, and we are very close to the action commencing. And the first event of the day is the men's hammer. Dilshot Nazarov, the Olympic champion, silver medalist in Beijing back in 2015, 3 times an Asian Games champion, but only by his own high standards got the silver just a couple of weeks ago in Jakarta. Nazarov alongside Ashraf Elsafai, twice a world junior champion. He just picked Nazarov to that Asian Games title, competing alongside rather than against each other here this afternoon. As you'd expect, Europe have a great team. Bence Halsas, European under-23 gold medalist last year. And Novicki, the European champion, the best thrower in the world this year with 81.85. Then to the Americas, Diego Del Real, 4th in Rio 2 years ago, alongside Donnelly, the American US indoor weight champion, twice 3rd in the US Outdoor Championships. And last but by no means least, the African duo, McCarthy, alongside El Gamel, African champion, the Egyptian, twice 4 years ago and this year. And just a clarification on how these events work. All 8 will have 3 throws. That's what we're calling the qualifier. Only the best from each of the 4 continents return for 1 further throw. We're calling that the semi-final. And the best 2 from that 4th round will come back for a winner takes all 1 throw showdown for the win. But as ever, overall, the event is won combining the points scored by both continental representatives. In other words, if a continent have 1st place, that's 8 points, and 8th place, that's 1, their combined score is 9. So it's possible for a continent to win an event despite not having the individual champion. It's not as complicated as it sounds. Stay with us. And we've got the big man, the reigning Olympic champion, Dilshot Nazarov, to start the afternoon's action. Nazarov, 6th best thrower in the world this year. Only 3 throws, remember, in qualifying over the 75-metre line. So that's a solid start from the man from Tajikistan, who today is wearing the purple of Asia Pacific.
He's actually the president of his federation as well, so involved in athletics in and out of the hammer circle. Had a great competition in the women's hammer yesterday. The championship record went at 75.05, the opening throw in the violet.
And the bright blue, fairly distinctive. Bence Halzas, the Hungarian, only 21, European under-23 gold medalist last year. He's gone 79.57 this season. Fourth best thrower in the world this year. .75.05 from Nazarov. By the way, our first track event, men's 110-metre high hurdles. Oh dear, that went way, way left, and that won't count outside the allowed boundaries. So 2 more attempts for the young Hungarian.
It's a strong European team, as you mentioned, Rob. The Vicky, the European champion. And remember, it's going to be Haz on the Vicky that's going to go through after the first 3 throws to represent Europe in that semi-final stage of round 4. So you have a continental battle between 2 throwers if they're close on standard. And then obviously a battle with the other 3 continents. The women's high jump is about to start on the first bend of the Metsi Stadium here, busy with the hammer. And the women's high jump is due to be a good competition as well, with the world leader, who very rarely loses, representing Europe in this one. There's your 4 lineup. Maria Lasinskena, the authorised neutral athlete, 2 meters and 4 this season. But here's Team America's on the left. Inaka McPherson of the United States, 192 this season, and Laverne Spencer from St. Lucia, the Commonwealth Games champion. So a nice little bit of power from the Americas in this women's high jump. Spencer over 196 this season. The team from Africa, Hagras Sayama. The Egyptian on your left, 1 meter 80 this year. And Sayama from Swaziland, also a 1 meter 80 jumper, their national record holder. Asia Pacific, McDermott Radziwill. Commonwealth Games bronze for the Australian, McDermott on the left this year, 21 years old now. Radziwill on the right, 1 meter 96. The athlete from Uzbekistan's jumped this year, twice the Asian Games champion. And then the familiar faces for Team Europe. Maria Lasinskena on the right, 2 meters and 4, the European champion, 2-time world champion indoors and out, and Marie-Laurence Jungfleisch for Europe, bronze at the European Championships for her, 12 times the German champion. She's a 2 meter jumper at her best as well a couple of seasons ago. So Europe have played their joker in this women's high jump competition. Getting underway very shortly, but just to their right, the men's hammer throw continues.
This is Ashraf El-Safai of Qatar. 23 years of age, twice a world junior champion. Asian Games winner, denying his teammate today, Dilshad Nazarov, a 4th consecutive Asian Games title. Nazarov leads with 75.05 in the first throw of the competition. Well, that's a solid effort, shy of the 75-metre line, but it's a good opener. Remember, only the best representative from each continent will come back for what we're calling the semi-finals. That will be 1 throw in a 4th round, and when we get to that 4th round, throws from the first 3 rounds are disregarded. It is simply a qualifier, as if it's a separate competition. 74.08 He's into second place, but he's the second place in his continent, so he needs to improve if he is to be the Asia Pacific representative in the 4th round. Novicki, European champion, the leading thrower this year, 81-85. Man from Poland hasn't had a long journey to get here across the border to the Czech Republic. What kind of opener can we expect from the big man? Reigns supreme in Berlin. Yeah. Oh, would have gone into the lead on distance, but he gets the red flag. Now that'll be interesting. Foot on the edge of the rim, perhaps. Let's have a look. Yeah, not allowed to have your foot anywhere outside that little depressed concrete area.
So both European throwers have had a no-throw in the first round. There were decent throws as well, as you say, Rob. That'll be interesting.
Yes,
they've got 3 throws each.
Yeah, he would have taken the lead with that, but didn't count. Sean Donnelly, twice third in the US Championships last year and this year. 75.05, still the leading mark at the moment by Dilshot Nazarov with the first throw. No, very, very fast in the circle, but caught the netting. Meanwhile, back with the high jump.
Hagras for Africa, opening jump in this women's high jump competition, 1.62 meters. Was the opening height in this women's high jump competition. Sayama, also for Team Africa. Went over the opening height the same as her teammate. So first attempt at 1.67. Oh, the height was there, the high point, but she's taken it down.
From one African representative to another, back to Mustafa Elgamel, the African champion. Defended his title this year, didn't like that. Just lands inside the sector, but he's around about, what, 73 meters maybe? Elgamel should move ahead of his teammate, the South African, McCafey. He threw 66.14 with his first round effort. The 2 Europeans not registering a throw in the first round. 2 rounds to go before we complete qualification. So 73 plus change. Yep, 73.28. He moves into second place. That's the leading effort from the African continent.
1.67 in the high jump. The bar will now move to 1 meter.
Nazarov leads. 36 years of age now, has been around a long time. 7th last year in London, had got a silver in Beijing. What a magnificent World Championships they were. We weren't sure what we expect to see at the Bird's Nest, but it was brilliant. And Nazarov picked up a silver medal. He's already in the lead. Can he launch a big one here? Edge towards 80 meters. Big roar, likes it. Yeah, that's another good one. The Asian Games silver medalist who just lost out on what would have been a real piece of history for the region with a 4th successive Asian Games title in Jakarta. Silver last month. He's looking as though he's got the bit between his teeth.
And he needed that, didn't he? Because he's having that battle with his teammate El Safai, who threw 74 meters and 8. Remember, as Rob said, just the leading throw from each continent goes into round 4.
.76.09 adds 1.04 meters to his best throw so far.
So the high jump bar now up to 1.72 meters. Sayama of Africa. the Swaziland national record holder, first at the African Championships this year. As I mentioned, popped over a 1.80 meter this season for a lifetime best. Not the longest of run-ups, with a great amount of speed, but the result was exactly as she wanted. The two athletes for the Africas still in this women's high jump competition, having a little chit-chat. That was actually a second attempt at 1.67 meters.
Been a good season for Sayama, African champion. Great to get Swaziland on top of the continental leaderboard. Now, Bence Alsace, no throw in the first round. Both he and Novicki still looking for their first valid mark in this competition, and he's just not happy at the moment. Recomposing himself. Timing, momentum, footwork, all has to be perfect. Now, the shoulders are slumped. That's way down on what he knows he can produce. But at least he now does have a valid throw. You could tell he didn't like it straight away. So 2 no throws, and Alsace only has 1 chance remaining, so the pressure will be on Novicki for Europe to step up to the plate. It's an event where we would expect the Europeans to at least challenge the likes of Nazarov and El Gamel of Asia Pacific and Africa. But the European campaign stuttering somewhat in this first event of the afternoon, the men's hammer. Del Real, 72.54. Wasn't too far away from the podium, the Mexican, in Rio 2 years ago in the Olympics. Central American champion the same season. Very, very quick now. He's veering left. Wow, it stays in, and that is over 75 meters. Good work there for the Americas. Nazarov, remember, has extended his lead to 76.09, adding just over a meter to his first round effort. Del Real has certainly put Nazarov under a little bit of pressure with that effort. Comfortably over 75, there or thereabouts the 76-meter line. Let's see. Excellent effort, 75.86, a season's best in the last competition of the year. Bear in mind, this time next year, we won't even have started the 2019 IAAF World Championships. Ashraf Amgad El-Safei, 74.08 in the first round for the 2-time World Junior Champion. We've actually got a plane flying low overhead, circling the stadium. Hopefully it won't put El-Safei off his second effort. Just shy of that 75-meter line. Fairly consistent. He had 74.08 in the first round. Just manages to maintain his balance, the big man. What excitement there'll be for all the Qatar athletes in Doha at the end of next September. 73.87, very consistent. Now, Nowicki, under pressure here. His European teammate, Halzas, has fouled his first 2 throws. So Nowicki, the best thrower in the world this year with 81-85, could really do with taking the pressure off himself come the 3rd round. Just get a nice steady effort on the board. His first round effort would have been way over 75 metres, but his foot landed on the edge of the circle and it didn't count. European champion's face looks a picture of concentration, stretching out that enormous back and getting himself ready here to deliver a big one. Just shy of 75 metres, but it's a no throw once again. He just cannot get his footwork right. Watch the front of the circle. There, steps out. Wow, he's got problems. This is a very significant event for the Europeans, considering they trail the Americas by 12, and they could potentially end up with nothing here in this event.
Well, after the first round for each European athlete to have a no-throw, I said it's interesting. Now it is very interesting. No mark on the board for Europe at the moment. Young Fleisch, though, in the women's high jump. Nice and easy. Entering the competition for Europe. 1.77 meters. The 2 representatives from Africa are still involved in the competition. They were the first to enter it here. A little bit of shade there on the first bend. But young Fleischer, 196 jumper this year. But this men's hammer competition, it's interesting with the innovation of the point system and the different format, and it's very interesting if you're a European fan, as Colin Jackson must be twitching in his seat at the 200-meter start. 2 no throws by each of his athletes.
Well, Sean Donnelly wasn't happy with his effort in the first round. Can he register a mark here? Been a difficult competition for some of these big men. No, it's another red flag for him as well. Wow. Quite a few of these men living dangerously. He was way out of control in terms of his footwork there. It is quite swirly in the stadium, but it doesn't look as though it would be causing too many problems to these world-class throwers. But Donnelly joins Halzas and Nowicki as 2 consecutive no throws. And what a competition we have in the men's triple jump, an event in which the Americas are playing their joker, perhaps because of that name down the bottom, Christian Taylor, coming back here to Ostrava, the scene of his World Youth title in 2007. Right, this is the African duo. Godfrey Mokoena, a fine long jumper, and Zango, the African champion. Mokoena will feel he's got a point to prove, controversially omitted from the Commonwealth Games team for South Africa. He would have been arriving there as the defending champion. Mokoena and Zango team up for the African continent in this triple jump. Well, Arpinder Singh wins the competition for the best tash this weekend. Asian Games champion, he's on the left, and Kabanov on the right. Got a bronze just behind him. 25 years of age, the Uzbekistani. Pablo Torrijos and Nelson Evora on the right, the veteran. Hard to believe at the age of 34, took a world indoor bronze this year, former Olympic champion back in 2008. And what an emotional day this will be for Christian Taylor on the right. Christian Naples, he's performing well this season, 17:34. In this very stadium, 11 years ago, Taylor's journey to the top began when he won the World Youth title. And here he is, 11 years later, double Olympic champion, triple world champion, hoping to deliver another great performance for his continent rather than his country here today.
Women's high jump, Radziwiłł, Asia Pacific. Oh, a nice clearance. Now a lot of the big guns are coming in at these heights here. The 31-year-old, 7th at the Olympic Games in London in 2012. Won the Asian Games title also this year in 2018.
Little bit of a sorry,
Rob, just confirming a first-time clearance over 177.
It's definitely a little cooler in the stadium, despite the fact that we've got more sunshine than we had yesterday. Athletes keeping warm in between their efforts in the field events, and a little bit of a swirly breeze. Now, Mcgowan, second in the African Championships, former Olympic silver medalist in the long jump, opens the triple jump competition here. And you wouldn't suspect that he'll be overly happy with that. 33-year-old's PB 17:35. He's yet to go over 17 meters this season. And he wasn't troubling the 17-meter line with that effort. Miles behind the board, and remember, it's exactly the same here with the jumps. 3 efforts, and the best from each continent will have a 4th, and the top 2 from that 4th round will go for a final showdown. 16:02, he will not be pleased with that.
Our first track action then of the second day here at the Continental Cup is the men's 110-meter hurdles. The athletes will be introduced in their continental pairs. Ahmad Mualded, the Saudi Arabian, on the left. He'll start in lane number 1, 13:36 this season. With his teammate Taiyo Kanai of Japan, the Japanese record holder, 7th at the Asian Games recently. He'll start in lane number 5. Then the strong team from Europe, Sergei Shabenkov, the Continental Cup champion. Nice pre-rehearsed opening. Shabenkov on the right, the only man in the world under 13 seconds, renewing his rivalry with Pascal Martinot-Lagarde, the French athlete on the left, who picked him to European gold in Berlin. That's a strong European team. A good team, though, from Team Americas. Devon Allen on the left, the 2-time US champion, 5th at the Rio Olympics. He's run 13:23 this year. And Ronald Levy, the Jamaican, he'll start in lane number 3, the Commonwealth champion. Team Africa in the yellow. Alcana on the right, 13:31 this year, 6th at the Ostrava Golden Spike meeting here earlier in the season. And he's teaming up with his Nigerian teammate Onieni, who was 2nd at the African Championships this year. So once again, confirmation of your full lineup in the men's 110-meter hurdles. The European champion, the Commonwealth champion, and the African champion. Sergei Shabenkov in lane number 2. There he is, silver at the Europeans behind Martinot-Lagarde. Almuled in 1, Shabenkov in 2, Levy in 3, Alcana in 4, Kanyai in 5, Martinot-Lagarde in 6, Allen in 7, Onyenei in 8. Keep your eyes on lanes 2, 3, and 6 in particular. The fastest man in the world, Sergei Shabenkov, 12.92 seconds. The European champion there, Martinot-Lagarde in 6. Colin Jackson has this as his joker event, banking on good points for Europe here, understandably so. So a clean start, not the greatest start from Shabenkov in lane number 2. Pascal Martinot-Lagarde's got a bit of work to do as well. Levy going well in lane number 3 for the Americas. Shabenkov though, head down, driving for the line. Maximum points for Europe, 13.05 seconds. A plus 0.9 meter a second wind. Good conditions for Sergei Shebenkov. He puts another defeat on the European champion, Pascal Martineau-Lagarde, and in a good time as well, 13.05. Well, the meeting record, the championship record, Alan Johnson's 12.96. Well, he could have potentially been threatened there, but a big point to Europe. Martineau-Lagarde, Shebenkov, brilliant points, a brilliant joker played by Colin Jackson.
Well, maximum points for Europe, but look, second from the right-hand side. Shebenkov got a terrible start. He was miles down, and at this stage, Ronald Levy, the Commonwealth champion, looked as though he was going to have it, but Shebenkov showed real class. Remember, he's a former world champion. Martineau-Lagarde out-dipped. It looked as though it was Alkane for the third spot, 13.31. But Shebenkov's start, Catherine, was awful. He left himself so much to do. It's a good job. He's got such good flat speed in between the barriers. That's what produced the victory for him. In the end, a fine time. Better start, he'd have gone under 13 seconds.
Well, Colin Jackson, the former world record holder at this event outdoors, still holds the world indoor record over 60-meter hurdles. Enjoyed that one. Shebenkov, as I said, lost the gold in Berlin by 2 1/1000ths of a second. Martineau-Lagarde ran the best race he's ran for a couple of years to become the champion there. But that was a good run by Shebenkov. 13.03, 8 points. Levy, points for the Americas. Martineau-Lagarde third, and more points for Europe. A good race that, and the joker's been played wonderfully well. Double points, therefore, for Europe.
Yes, the Europeans will pick up 16 points for that. It's 8 for the win. That doubles to 16. There you have the confirmation. So they're closing the gap, but remember, they're in all sorts of trouble, the European team, in the men's hammer. So it's swinging and turning all the time, this Continental Cup.
Laverne Spencer in the women's high jump. Just in a teammate, Levy, pick up 7 points and second place in the men's hurdles. Spencer opening her account at 1 meter and 82 here. Oh yes, nice and easy on that Commonwealth gold from what seems an age ago now, down under those Commonwealth Games in April. She's competed in all 3 IAAF Continental Cups. The highest she's ever finished was 3rd in 2010. That was a good first-time clearance at 1 meter and 82.
This is how it looks then after 20 events. Africa still bringing up the rear in 4th place. Asia Pacific just ahead. Now watch how close this will be. 139 to 141. Only 2 points in it, but remember, Europe's 2 hammer throwers still yet to register valid efforts as we enter the 3rd round of the men's hammer. And this is Zango going in the triple jump. Zango, African champion, set an indoor record earlier this year of 17.23. While nobody's really produced the fireworks so far, the best jump is 16.59. Arpinder Singh, the mustachioed Indian who won the Asian Games gold. That looked better from Zango of Burkina Faso. Very good on the board. Still haven't seen Christian Taylor. And remember, this is an event in which the Americas are playing their joker. Colin Jackson's joker produced the goods in the men's 110 hurdles. 16.92, yet to go over 17, but good enough for the lead.
Masinskena for Europe in the women's high jump. 1 meter and 82. Real shake of the head. The world leader, 2:04 this season. European champion. 24 out of 25 wins in finals this year. And opening her account nicely for Europe with that 182 clearance. So it's 3 field events at the moment that are going on. The hammer, the women's high jump and the men's triple jump. And here's the man.
What a journey it's been for Christian Taylor since he appeared here as a skinny teenager, taking the World Youth title 11 years ago. Triple world champion, double Olympic champion, the second best jumper in history, 18:21. He has the figures 18:30 emblazoned on the inside of his spikes. Looked very close on the board. Oh, that's big. That is big. Gets the white flag. That is a superb start from the man whose glittering career began in this very stadium 11 years ago. That was big.
Well, he said his captain, Mike Powell, said, go for the world record in the first 3 rounds and then let's concentrate on the points. He's opened up big, hasn't he? He knows when to deliver, and he normally does. But remember, the distances get wiped after the first 3 rounds, but prize money-wise, you still get the 30,000 for winning, down to 1,000 for 8.
17:59, that is brilliant. Now, last chance saloon for Nowicki. Big problems here for the reigning European champion. He is the best thrower in the world this year, capable of in excess of 81 meters, needs to get it right now. He doesn't like it. By his own high standards, that is very average from the Polish European champion.
And the significance is, Rob, on our systems. Halaz's second round throw has been reinstated from being a no throw at 72 meters and 62. So a mark has been recorded for the other European athlete. So he's got to get near to that with his final throw. And I'm not sure he's going to get as far as his teammate's second round throw.
No. Nowicki's season comes to an end here this afternoon. Not how he would have expected. A great European title, but he will take no further part in this competition. Sean Donnelly, he's another one of the athletes with 2 no throws in the opening couple of rounds. His compatriot from Mexico's going well. No, doesn't like it. Way outside the sector, not too far away from one of those photographers who looked like he might have had to get his spikes on to get out the way, but he's okay. Donnelly doesn't register a throw. But for the Americas, it doesn't matter too much because Diego de Real, the Mexican, produced 75.86 in the second round. So he will be the representative for this continent in the 4th round, where we will only see 4 men. And one of them will not be Nowicki, the European champion. So Donnelly, 3 no throws.
So Europe have clawed it back to 2 points in terms of the overall scores, Rob, but they've got a bit of work to do here. Now one of their big guns have gone, but Halaz is going to carry it forward to the 4th round for them.
Yes, Diego de Real. Well, no competition from his compatriot for the Americas, El Gamal and Nazarov. 4 men moving forward. I'm not quite sure what you call that colour. What, lime green? Anyway, the ones in the lime green, I'm calling it lime green. They're the athletes with 4 further throws.
You called it lime yesterday. I think that's the closest that we could get on our screen in terms of referencing a colour for you guys. But the scorecard is clear, and the leader from each of the continents comes into the semi-final stage with 1 throw to make the top 2.
I quite like this format, Catherine. I know traditionalists will love the fact that, you know, you go all the way through and you have 3 efforts, then you jiggle it round and the top 8 have another 3. But it means that it's so fresh and the field events actually get the coverage they deserve because it's over very quickly. Nazarov has this 1 throw to give himself a chance to finish in the top 2 to come back for what we're calling the final. Disregard his 3 efforts in the first 3 rounds, the best of which was over 76 meters. So we know that the Olympic champion is capable and in form here. Here he goes. 1 chance for 1 further throw in the final. Oh yes, that looks as though he has saved his best for what we're calling the semi-final. 75, 76, 76, none of those count, but it's an indication as to what kind of rhythm and groove the three-time Asian Games champion is in. Nazarov flying the flag for Asia Pacific, desperate to close the gap on Europe. They are some way behind. 76-87, a fine series, and he surely will be coming back for a showdown with one of the three other men remaining. Benz Hausas looked as though he'd had two no-throws, but his 72-62 was reinstated in the second round, and he improved on that and went very close to the 75-metre line in his third effort. 76-87, the leading mark from Nazarov. Gets very low as he moves round the circle. Not his best throw, but the question is not whether it's better than his first three rounds, it's whether that proves to be better than one of the two remaining men left to throw. Has to finish in the top two of the four to have one further throw to try and take maximum points for Europe, who have closed the gap on Americas to just 2 points. Long, long, long way to go this afternoon. So many finals still to come. 74-16, that will be the mark facing De Real. Central American champion De Real. He has thrown 75 metres. Remember, that doesn't count for the second round. Very, very fast on his release. That could be better than Hausas. It'll be there or thereabouts. 74-16, Hausas. I think that's going to be very, very close. He looks up for it today, the Mexican. It's coming up on our screen. Not quite as good as Hausas. 73-04. So the Mexicans' season comes to an end here. A fine effort in the second round, but it's only the effort in this fourth round that counts towards moving through to the final. El Gamal needs to beat 74-16, the African champion. Huge, powerful man, didn't like it. Pretty close. Hausas of Europe holds that second spot at the moment. Nazarov, we know, is coming back, 76-87 for Asia Pacific. But will it be a European or an African? Yes, it's coming through. We knew it was tight. El Gamal by 3 centimetres, 74-19. It will be an African coming back for one further throw, not a European. That was really close, Catherine, just 3 centimetres.
Well, he saved his best till he needed it, didn't he? That was his best throw of the day in round number 4, but now the two-way battle in these field events with one throw left for each.
Dilshad Nazarov, a poster boy for athletics back home. A huge figure in and out of the circle and in the sport. 36 years of age. He's been around for such a long time. He's the Olympic champion. Is he going to add the Continental Cup to his huge list of achievements? One throw, and this will be his pitch for glory here in Ostrava. Yes. Watching for the white flag. He gets it. He loves it. Cometh the hour. Cometh the giant.
His season best, Rob, is 78-18. Probably going to be a little bit shy of that, but it's the pressure that these athletes are under. This isn't a normal competition. You only have to worry about yourself normally, but when you have a competition like this for the team, I remember doing European Cups for Great Britain, Northern Ireland, you carry expectation, you carry extra pressure, and you have to deliver when it matters. So that's the distance that is going to have to be chased.
77-34, surely that will be good enough for the top spot finish for Dilshot Nazarov. El Gamal needs to produce very close to his season's best. He has thrown over 80 metres. The African champion, big roar, he loves it. No, not to be. An excellent second place for him, so valuable points for the Africans. But it's Dilshot Nazarov who comes out on top, helping to contribute to Asia Pacific's title. 74.08 for the other Asia Pacific representative, who finishes in 5th. So 1st and 5th for Asia Pacific. Valuable points in this competition. But Nazarov, the Olympic champion, delivered in the last round exactly when he needed to. (74.22). El Gamal finishes in 2nd place. Top marks for Dilshot Nazarov. His best effort in the 5th round, and the veteran delivers again. And the not too shabby prize money of $30,000 US. No wonder he's giving a thumbs up. I think he might buy a couple of pints tonight, Catherine, and he'll make very short work of them. Dilshot Nazarov finishing with his best tally. And just looking down, the other Asia Pacific representative was 4th, so they finished with 12 points. No mark for the second of the Americans. So that event makes very good reading for Asia Pacific, who take the full 8 points. The reason Europe and Africa both have 5 is that they finished joint on points, which means they share the points available for finishing in 2nd and 3rd, so it's 5 each. And Europe have taken the lead by a single point. They started today 12 adrift, and Catherine, they've now edged ahead.
Well, they have. And of course, the women's high jump is continuing as well. They're waiting for big points from the likes of Lasiskena, but the track action continues. 2 laps to the Metski Stadium, the women's 800 metres next.
Well, the Africans have played their joker in this event, and in a moment you will see why. Besu Sado on the left, Caster Semenya on the right. 49.62 yesterday, finishing in 2nd place in the 400 for a new South African record. Semenya unbeaten over the 800 this year. It will surely simply be a question of by how much rather than if she wins here today. Brittany Mcgowan, 4-time national champion for Australia, representing Asia Pacific, joined by Angela Petty, 5th in the Commonwealth Games, the New Zealander, and the Australian teaming up together in this unique team competition. Anna Sabat, 5th in the European Champs earlier this year, and Natalia Krashipa of Ukraine, twice a European champion. Both women very capable athletes. Krashipa in particular, 158.6 at her best. Well, the Americas pose a big challenge here today. Natoya Gould has had a fabulous season. Commonwealth silver behind Caster Semenya, and R.G. Wilson, twice world indoor silver medalist, bronze last year in London, 155.61. She's in cracking shape. There's the trophy. Europe lead, but only by a point. Here's a confirmation of this lineup. The African team are playing their joker, which means they're after a maximum of 16 points. It's 8 for winning the event, but it won't just be Caster Semenya, it will be Sado as well. Now, Lasiskena, what a great season she's had, and it continues here with another effortless clearance.
It does. She's looking good, but she always looks good. A clean scorecard so far. She came in at 1 metre and 82, and popped over 187, and then first time at 191, as you'd expect. So she's going well.
Second track final. How fast will Caster Semenya go here on her very last outing of the season? Some other fine women not to disregard. R.G. Wilson, twice world indoor silver medalist. Krashipa just going through shot, twice a European champion. Angela Petty making sure her shoelaces are done up. Caster Semenya, first in Eugene, Oslo, Paris, Monaco, Zurich, African Championship. Her list of accolades go on. Gould of Jamaica representing the Americas. Sabat, 5th in the Europeans for Poland. Brittany Mcgowan is the other Asia Pacific representative, and then Besu Sado, 22 years of age, 4th in the African Championships over 1,500 metres. She's the other African representative, and they are very much hoping to take maximum points here, which is why they have played their joker. The women's 800 metres here in Ostrava. Here we go, no pacemakers, and Caster Semenya so often says she prefers racing without them. She leads in that distinctive yellow and red outfit and that very powerful loping looking stride, with R.G. Wilson in second place and Gould running well, both of them representing the Americas. But I think, Catherine Merry, this will simply be a question of how fast and by how much.
Well, she's coming off the back of the 400-metre national record for South Africa yesterday. 49.62 seconds she ran, Semenya, through the first 200 in 26. This field is really strung out over the first 400 metres. But as you say, Rob, we're going to keep an eye on the clock here. The championship record, 1:54.44. Let's see what she goes through the first 400 in, but Semenya leads.
This is very, very fast, 55.93, even faster than when she went through the first lap in Zurich in 56.06 en route to 1:55. Semenya leads, R.G. Wilson and Natoya Gould in second and third for the Americas. The other African representative, Sado, is back in seventh, and Semenya is not pulling any further away here, I don't think, from Wilson and Gould. They've both had fine seasons, the American and the Jamaican. Krashipa is in fourth place, and Semenya is beginning to look a little bit tired here. Now this would be interesting. She's bidding for a 29th consecutive victory over 800 metres. Now she senses the finish line is approaching. She's pushed hard, 55 plus change. She's going to win yet again here. A season in which she's unbeaten, 1:54.78, Wilson second, Gould third. These times are superb, only just a shade outside the championship record. She has been on fire all season, only just missing out on her own national record. That was one of the fastest times you will ever see by any woman over 800 metres, and she's finished her season as she started it way back in April on the Gold Coast, unbeaten, unrivaled, unmatched for the entire year. That was superb.
A complete solo run from Caster Semenya. It really was a balanced 800 metres. She led from the gun. She's the fourth fastest of all time with her 1:54.25, and this time alone in Ostrava, of course, would have comfortably put her into the world top 10 as well. 49.62 yesterday, sub 1:55 today. We await to see if she comes back later for the mixed 4x400 metre relay for Africa. You think she would, with her individual place yesterday of being second. But she really has had a wonderful year, the double Olympic champion. And the joker was played by Africa. And you saw their team captain, Neza Bidoan, run onto the track to say, well done.
A fine win for Caster Semenya, but great times for R.G. Wilson and Natoya Gould, both inside 1:58, and it's the Americas who will win that event, having finished in second and third. There's a confirmation. So Africa played their joker. Semenya won, but Sado was only seventh. So the Americas, good news for them in the women's 800 metres, and Laverne Spencer is going well for the continent here in the women's high jump.
Second attempt at 193. Took her a couple of attempts, as you just saw there, to get over 191. A slight rattle. Well, the Commonwealth champion is over. Still going strong in this competition at 1 metre and 93. As is Lasse Skene. for the European team as well. So we're about a quarter of a way through the second day of action here at the Continental Cup. Men's pole vault starting soon. Once again, Europe looking for good points in that competition. So after 22 events of 37, let's bring you up to speed. Africa still in fourth with 89 points. Asia Pacific in third with 101. Europe now second again with 148. And 3 points ahead, Team Americas with 151. Back and forward. That's what we like, because that makes it exciting here. And we're not sure who's going to raise the Continental Cup this year.
Could go all the way down to the very end of the afternoon. Men's 100 and then the mixed 4x4. Any order for the 2 women and 2 men? Well, we're speaking about this great battle between the Europeans and the Americas, and we could well be about to see another one in the men's pole vault. What a year it's been. One in which Renaud Lavillenie has not had everything all his own way. Timo Morganov, part of a fabulous European team, alongside Lavillenie rather than against him. Lavillenie finished third in the European champs. Morganov took the silver with 6 meters, as Mondo Duplantis took the gold with 6:05. What a great team they are. Morganov and Lavillenie hoping to produce top points for Europe. Now that Europe trail by 3 once again behind the Americas. Massive reception from the Czech Republic crowd here in Ostrava. This isn't a shabby lineup either. Shaughnessy Barber, the Canadian former world champion. Sam Kendricks has been in superb form this year. He's won Eugene, Rome, Paris, Rabat and London. The reigning world champion. The African team, Valko van Veek and Romdana van Veek is the African silver medalist. Romdana beat him to the gold. And a solo representative from Asia Pacific, Stephen Clough on his own, twice fourth in the national championships. He's only 21 years of age. A new convert to the pole vault. Now here are the standings after the first 3 rounds of the triple jump. The veteran Evora, Christian Taylor, well, was it ever in any doubt? Zango and Singh, they will be the 4 men to come back for one last effort, and the top 2 will return for the big showdown. Nelson Evora, Catherine, he's been around for such a long time, and what a special competition this will be for Christian Taylor back in the stadium where he won the World Youth.
Indeed, Christian looking for something special after concentrating on the 400s this year, but Singh's up first for Asia Pacific. Round number 4, 1 jump to get into the final.
Not the biggest effort there from the Asian Games champion, 4th in the Commonwealth Games, although he got a bronze in Glasgow 4 years ago. Absolutely pin perfect on the board. It is getting a little bit blustery here in the stadium. 16:33, not his best effort today, but remember the 3 previous efforts are disregarded. It just gives you an indication as to what kind of form the athlete's in. This is Hughes Zango, the 25-year-old African champion from Burkina Faso. Big, powerful looking man. 17:23 indoors this year. 17:02, an outdoor national record for Zango. 16:33 is Arpinder Singh's mark. Surely the African champion can challenge that here. Looked a bit ragged there. Gets the white flag, but it was an untidy looking effort. And he didn't seem to get much height on the 3rd phase of the triple. Zango has already produced a national record. He's absolutely perfect on the board.
We are now halfway through the semi-final round.
Well, it might not have been pretty, but it is further than Arpinder Singh. But we've got the reigning and former Olympic champion to come. Nelson Evora, unbelievable. European champion at the age of 34. World indoor bronze in Birmingham at the start of this year. 10 years after he took gold in Beijing. He's been around an awfully long time. And the old man deliver again. Miles behind the board. Well, he's got to finish higher or further than 16:33 if he is to replace Arpinder Singh. And remember, we've still got Christian Taylor to come, who flew out to 17:59 in the first round. So, could be an anxious moment here for Evora. And it's not enough. 16:28 it's come up. So Evora's competition comes to an end, and I wonder how much longer we'll see him performing at the highest level. Here's Taylor. He only needs better than 16:33. He probably does that in training every week of the season.
Second in the competition in the semi-final round with a mark of 16:33.
At the moment, it's Zango and Singh. Taylor won't want to no-jump here. It's one chance to come back. On paper, he should breeze this. Never in doubt. Never in doubt. That's why he's a multiple world champion. That's why he's a double Olympic champion. And that's why, Catherine Merry, he's in the conversation for the greatest of all time, surely, even though he's yet to go over Jonathan Edwards' world record.
Well, that's the only thing left that Christian hasn't got. Of course, Jonathan Edwards, 18 metres and 29 in Gothenburg in 1995. That's what Christian wants. He still has the ability. He said to me in Eugene this year, I've dedicated 80% of my training this year to running 400s because it's an off-season. There's his coach on the left, Ran the Raider. Next year he'll be back full-time on triple jump training for the World Championships. And he's got himself in this final with Zango now. All he wants is maximum points for Team Americas today.
Yes, the Americas have played their joker here. It really is an incredible career. And when you think Taylor's still only 28, he should comfortably beat Zango. But all credit to the man from Burkina Faso. He's produced an outdoor national record of 17:02. Bear in mind, he has jumped 17:23 indoors. So, been a great month or so for him. Zango aiming for victory for the African continent after we saw Caster Semenya produce very close to her lifetime best in the women's 800 metres for the African continent. Zango going for glory here in Ostrava. Very close to the board. Did a little better there in terms of his third phase, but it's still not clicking for the 25-year-old. Doesn't generate an awful lot of height. Pretty good on the board, giving away a few more centimetres. I think he was 3-point-something in the previous effort. It's a good effort from Zango, 16:46. He can only win if Christian Taylor produces a no-jump in this competition. At the very least, he's finished in second place, which is very useful points for the Africans.
Alespoň 16:47 tomu stačí vítězství v této disciplíně a nejspíš k tomu, aby Amerika využila.
Now we're watching and waiting.
Yeah, he's just to our left of the commentary position. Christian doing up his flashy spikes, ready for his final jump in this triple jump competition. 45.07, personal best over 400 metres. He's really enjoyed running the 400 metres this year, mixing in on the Diamond Leagues with some of the big boys. But this is his event, and this is his time. He wants the support.
He's had a great series of jumps so far. 17.59, 17.41. All this in the stadium where this wonderful journey began 11 years ago. Ostrava is part of Taylor history. Will it be so again now? Behind the board. Oh, he's in good form. He's in really good form. He didn't want to risk too much there. He only needed a valid jump. He got it. The distance is almost irrelevant. We know it's clear of Zango's 16.46. The Americans have played their joker, and Christian Taylor has delivered exactly as expected. We knew he was up for it, Catherine, when he jumped 17.59 in the first round.
He'll be breathing a huge sigh of relief for Christian, because he was wheeled out along with Catherine Barguin at the press conference a couple of days ago, heading Team Americas. And there is the pressure that I talk about. And Mike Powell played the joker in that event, hoping that Christian could pull something out the bag, and he did. That's a decent scorecard, isn't it, with that 17.59 as well. Again, will we see him later for Team Americas in the mixed 4x4? We wait and see.
Well, he has run 45.07 for the 4. Christian Taylor takes it, an outdoor national record for Zango, for Burkina Faso, representing Africa. And that looks as though playing the joker has paid off nicely for the Americas. Their star man delivering as expected. And this competition is getting very, very tight. Let's just keep you up to speed with how we're looking overall. Remember, I know those of you who are experts in this already know, but it's worth reiterating. It's the performance of both continental representatives that count. Africa, Asia Pacific 150, and the Americas now re-establish a fairly decent cushion, courtesy of that joker being played to good effect in the men's triple jump. They lead by 17.
Radziwill in the women's high jump, it continues. First attempt at 1 metre and 95. Getting very close to her season's best here. Oh yes, just 1 centimetre shy. She's popped over 196 this season. 2012 was the best year. She popped over 1 metre and 97. But that's a good clearance for the Asia Pacific team. Her teammate McDermott went out at 1 metre and 87. So first position, 1 metre and 95 cleared. Lasiskeina then, first attempt at 195. The perfect scorecard from the European athlete. She does look in good form today. Oh, what a clearance. 195, as smooth as you like. Could we see something special here today from Maria Lasiskeina? A long season, a successful season, but clearing 195. I think it's a much lower height. Blanka Vlasic, incidentally, holds the championship record from 2010, 205. It's a very good clearance indeed from the world leader.
Now we turn our attention for the first time to the pole vault. Van Wijk veering off to his left-hand side, but he's there. Just giving himself an opportunity to settle into the competition, the South African. He's only 18 years of age, became the national champion last year. He cleared that by miles. Equal 8th in the World Juniors, clearing 490 at the 3rd time of asking, keeping his competition alive.
Varying opening heights in that men's pole vault, Rob, as you'd expect. Morganov not due to enter till 5:50, Barber at 5:30, Le Villani 5:65. Radziwill, women's high jump. No, not to be at the height of 197 today for the Asia Pacific athlete. First time clearance at 195. We're very close to her best, to be fair, in early September. But Lasse Skåne, after that wonderful clearance at 195, has a third attempt now at 197. Normally when she's on third attempts, she gets her house in order and sorts herself out, just like she did then. One of those athletes that you just know most of the time when it really matters. A third time clearance at 1 meter and 97, beautiful work. Won the Zurich Diamond League, won the Continental Cup in 2014 in Marrakesh. She's en route to defend that title here in Ostrava today.
Stephen Clough, he is the sole Asia-Pacific representative. 5'10", should be more than comfortable. No, just hits that with his chest and a little shake of the head. 2 more attempts for him. Meanwhile, Lasse Skåne, can she clear 2 meters? We know she's done it already this season. This would be fabulous.
That special benchmark in women's high jumping. Oh yes, that's magical. It has to be. It doesn't matter how many times you cleared it, Rob. That must be a wonderful feeling to go over the 2 meter barrier, and reasonably comfortably as well. Only 2 women in the world have gone over 2 meters this year. Lasse Skåne leading the world rankings with 2:04. Bella Tigara, the Italians, popped over 2:02. Oh, excuse me, Tiam's gone over 2:01 and Delameva over 2 meters. But that was a very good clearance, and we wait to see what the next height is. So the next track action is ready. It's the women's 200 meters. The joker is being played by the Americas here. World leader Dina Asher-Smith not representing Europe. She picked up points yesterday for second in the 100 meters. Lelova Kolev, though, the Bulgarian, representing Europe in lane number 8. 5th at the European Championships over 200 meters, 22.63 this season. She starts in lane number 8. 7th at the Brussels Diamond League over this half-lap distance. For Asia-Pacific from Kazakhstan, Victoria Zhyabkina, treble sprint gold at the 2015 World Student Games, 22.73 this season. In lane 6 representing Africa, Marie-José Talu. She's back after a 100-meter win yesterday. A really busy year. She said it's been tough. The first woman from a continent to win the women's 100-meter yesterday, 22.34 this year. The elegant figure of Shawnee Miller-Weibo in 5. The Olympic champion over 400 meters, the Commonwealth champion over this distance of 200 meters. Starts inside Talu. In lane 4, the defending Continental Cup champion, Daphne Schippers. The European record holder, 21.63, 4th in the 100 meters yesterday. The world number 5 starts in lane 4. In lane number 3, the athlete from Bahrain, representing Asia Pacific, Onfomi Odiong. Won sprint treble at the Asian Games this year, 21 years old, inside 23 seconds this year. And then in lane number 2 from Cameroon, Jermaine Abdesolo Bivina. Second at the African Championships over this distance, 23.36 this season. And completing the lineup on the tight inside line, the Jamaican Sharika Nelson. 400-meter bronzes at the World Championships, Rio in 2016, the world number 3 though this year. Concentrating on short sprints for speed before the World Championships. 22.05, a lifetime best. Team Americas have played their joker. Jackson in 1, that's Schippers, she's in 4. Miller-Weibo ran the back straight in the 4x1 yesterday. She starts in lane number 5. Talu, looking for a sprint double here at the Continental Cup, goes in 6. The sun comes out as the athletes settle. Jackson, Abdesolu, Odiong, Schippers, Miller-Weibo, Talu, Zhyabkina, Lelova Kolev. So expect a fast start from Talu in lane number 6. And she's going well in the yellow of Africa, but as is Milawebo, and Skipper's inside it in lane number 4. Odiong of the Bahrain going well in lane number 3, but Skipper's in the blue off the bend in lane number 4. Jackson trying to make some headway in lane number 1. But the power, the speed, endurance of Milawebo claws back Daphne Skipper's 22.18 seconds. You have a feeling Shawnee Milawebo had to work for that one. A long season for so many of these athletes, but the Olympic champion over 400 metres. She's run 21.88 at her best last year. But the Commonwealth champion, the Olympic champion over the 1 lap, delivers the goods for the Americas. And we await for the positions to come through to see if the joker that Captain Mike Powell played has paid off. But you look at the replay, Rob, Skipper's ran a really good bend. She's done that so many times this season, Daphne Skipper's, but doesn't just quite have the back end, because you know Milawebo is going to be coming with her strength.
I thought that was an excellent effort by Daphne Skippers, and at this stage you thought maybe this time she could just hang on, but the strength of Milawebo and her forte over the 400 really got her across the line there. That was a slightly laboured victory for Milawebo. It was a great win, but I think you can tell she's tired. It has been a long season. Victories commenced with the 200 Commonwealth title way back in April. She had to really grind that one out. She fully deserves the win, but credit to Skippers for turning that into a very interesting race. It wasn't until the last 20 that you thought the Bahamian was getting home.
Talu came in 3rd in the end for Africa. Another long season for her. You saw the height difference between Talu at 5'3" and Milawebo at 6'1" on that head-on shot. It's been a wonderful season for female sprinting across all the disciplines, and Milawebo has played her part in that. Confirmation then, 8 points for the Americas for the win, 22.16 seconds. And Sharika Jackson ran well on the inside at 22.62. So they're the points, 16 in total, because the Americas joker was played. 8 is doubled to 16. Good move by Mr. Powell.
Yes, these jokers are turning out to have a very big impact on the competition, and it's good work for the Americas so far. Powell gives it a little fist pump. The Americas are in control at the moment. Another great track final to come fairly shortly, the men's 400 metres, but that's the difference, and they're beginning to pull away a little bit. We've got to see some big European performances between now and the end of the afternoon if Europe are to successfully defend their title.
Well, Europe's still going potentially strong in the women's high jump competition, of course. Lasse Skåne still involved in that. And of course,
well, Mike Powell is certainly... You're always smiling, but even more so today, because Team Americas, you seem to be pulling away a little bit now. Good scores today.
Yeah, it feels better being up, I think, 27 now. So I think maybe after this, me and Colin go around out there, too.
No, I'm loving this personal rivalry between yourself and, I'll say Europe, but really Colin Jackson. Are you getting under his skin a little bit because he's frantically writing away? He's a tactician.
Yeah, he's writing stuff down. I don't know if it's helping, though.
Listen, all I can say to you at the moment, it's not quite as clear-cut as you think.
Colin, let's go over to the women's high jump.
well, it's not quite as clear-cut because Lasse Skåne is very shortly going to continue her campaign in the women's high jump, which of course would be good points for Team Europe. She's gone over the 2-meter height.
Well, she has one more attempt to clear that height. Colin, how many lives have you got left today? Can you catch up America?
Well, I'm smiling because as you realise, Ewan, that actually high jump is one of our joker events and we are in the lead with that. So of course, that's going to add a few more valuable points to our score.
Well, can I ask, is it a slightly different dynamic today? I mean, obviously you want to see everyone do well, but quite secretly, if you see, you know, an athlete from Africa or from the Americas or Asia Pacific failing a height, are you secretly quite happy?
No, only when the Americas fail. I mean, when everybody else I support.
Neza, do you understand what he is saying? He is basically saying as long as Europe do well, he doesn't care about anyone else. Are you happier today than yesterday?
Oui, effectivement, pour hier, c'est vrai, on a raté beaucoup de courses. Par exemple, on a raté relay 4x1 for women and men. But aujourd'hui, on a gagné 800 mètres, 800 women, and deuxième place au triple saut et troisième place aux 200 mètres dames.
Okay, I think you're saying it was a pretty bad day yesterday, it's better today, and the relays are going to be good. Jana, you're about to play one of your jokers in the 400. Confident?
I am. I think the boys are going to do really well. But did you see Nazarov in the hammer as well? We could have taken that one out, so I wish I'd placed a joker there.
It's very hot down here today in Joker's Corner, Captain's Corner. Well, a couple of them are jokers, I was probably correct. Are you feeling the pressure as a team captain?
Oh, a little bit, but I think Haroon and Anas is coming up right now. We're going to show what we can do. So I'm pretty confident with Africa just behind us that we're going to keep our lead on them.
Oh, the day is still long. Much can change, much can change.
So, Maria Lassaskena then, this is the attempt that the captain's lounge were talking about. A second attempt at 2 meters and 5 after that wonderful 2 meter clearance. And she does have that one attempt left. It would be a season's best. Her personal best is 2:06 set last season. It would also tie the championship record that I mentioned, the Blanka Vlasic of 2010, if she were to go over on her third attempt at asking. World Youth Champion back in 2009. European Junior Champion in 2011. A wonderful season's been had. Here's your lineup then for the next track action, the men's 400 meters. Asia Pacific, as Jana Pittman said, are playing their joker here. Familiar world-class names. Abole, of course, Hudson Smith, Tebe, Haroon, Santos. It's pretty good conditions here for a 400 meters, but they will wait for Europe's Maria Lassaskena, her third and final attempt at 2 meters and 5. Her teammate Young Fleisch finished in 4th with a clearance at 1 meter and 91. Well, it's not to be today, but she has the victory for Europe. 2 meters was cleared, 8 points for Lassaskena. And as I mentioned, her fellow European Young Fleisch was in 4th, so we'll crunch the points and bring you up to speed. Yahaya starts in lane number 8, the Indian for Asia Pacific in this men's 400, second at the African Championships this year, 45.24 seconds for the 23-year-old. Ran in London last year at the World Championships on the wide outside lane, lane number 8. In lane 7, the South African representing Africa, Tupelo Fora, second at the African Championships this season, just outside 45 seconds at his best. Then for the Americas from the USA, Nathan Strother, 4th at the US Championships, 44.34 this season. The talent is there, the frame is slight, but don't be deceived. In lane number 5, Matthew Hudson-Smith from Great Britain and Northern Ireland, the European champion. In Berlin, he became the 10th British man to become the European champion. 8th at the Olympics in Rio.
This year's Asian Games champion.
Abdelayla Haroon of Qatar, Asia Pacific. This is the joker Jana Pittman's talking about. The quickest on paper here, the world number 4. Watch him, he always finishes fast. In lane number 3, for Africa, the Botswanan, Babaloki Tebe, second at the Commonwealth Games. 20.2 200-meter runner is the African in lane 3. And for Team Americas, the Dominican Republic athlete, Miguelin Santos, Olympic silver in London. 44.59 this season, and completing the lineup, it's fair to say the surprise European champion in 2010, Kevin Borlée, 45.07 this season. Just one of the Borlée dynasty that we enjoy watching so much in track and field. Kevin starts in lane number 1. So, Borlée, Santos, Tebe, Haroon, Hudson-Smith, Strother, Fora, Yahaya. Championship record, incidentally, Jeremy Warriner, 44.22 from 2010. There you go. Keep your eyes on Haroon in 4. the world bronze medalist in London, still just 21 years old. And Hudson Smith, the new European champion, starts in 5. So a clean start. Haroon, as I mentioned, will always finish fast in his 400-metre races. Hudson Smith going well in lane number 5 in the blue vest of Europe. Tebe going well in the African colours in lane number 3. Down the back straight it is. The camera focusing on Matthew Hudson Smith. He's taken out the stagger outside of him of Strother of the USA for the Americas. But round the top bend, there's 3 or 4 athletes in this. The blue vest of Hudson Smith still in the mix, but Haroon in lane number 4 sweeps into the straight in the lead. Asia Pacific having a great run also is Tebe, the African, in lane number 3. Hudson Smith's tying up a bit, but this is the joker that was played. Keep your eye on the clock. 44.73 seconds. Well, the victory has gone to the violet. The flowers are in the hands of Abdellah Haroon of Qatar. The 21-year-old delivered the goods. Not as fast as his 44.07 this season, but the 4th fastest man in the world. Judged his pace perfectly off Matthew Hudson Smith outside him and delivered the goods for Asia Pacific. A very good run at the end of a long season, Rob.
Yes, 4 are pulled up, second from the left-hand side at the top of the back straight. Hudson Smith had a magnificent run to take the European title, but he got very tired towards the end there. And what a great run from Thebe. I really like the 2-time African champion. Tommy, remember, 44.02 this season. He's a great athlete. Haroon just about had enough there. Thebe came round, 45.10. Strother ran well for the USA in 3rd. But Jana Pittman, wild card, played to good effect there. Just looking to see where the other joker was. Haya of India, he finished in 5th. So 1st and 5th, we're just totting up to see whether they will double their points. But that was a good end to the season for Haroon. He came under pressure from the Botswanan on his inside, and he held form well. Hudson Smith, 45.72. That was a tired run by the European.
Well, it was. But Haroon came, and Haroon delivered. Men's pole vault, though, Sean Barber.
Shaughnessy Barber should be very comfortable at this height. I hope I haven't cursed him there. Yeah, never in doubt. Barber, the former world champion. He's had a really tough couple of years. Got a silver in the Commonwealths at the start of this year, and then 5.92 in Brussels. That was his best vault in a couple of years. So it looks as though Barber is coming back to some kind of form. Miles clear there, but he should have been at that height. And this is an important event for Europe in their quest to close this big gap on the Americas, who are leading.
Confirmation of the men's 400 metres. 8 points for Haroon, 44.72. Tebe in 2nd for Africa. And then the Americas and Europe followed. So we add the points up, and indeed Asia Pacific with their 2 places double their points from 8 for the win to 16. So Jana Pittman, that's why she was jumping up and down. A good result for her and her team. And there's confirmation that women's high jump, the 2-metre clearance by Lasiskena, 8 points for the European team. And they played their joker in this event. Young Fleisch, 5 points. So Europe, they played their joker well in that event, hence 16 points for them. So a little bit of rejigging and calculating of the figures. Let's have a look after 26 events of 37. Africa, 103 points. In 3rd place will still be Asia Pacific with 130. Europe on 175, but what's the difference? 193, so it's still an 18-point advantage for the Americas.
It puts even more emphasis on this pole vault competition, Catherine, where we have 2 fabulous Europeans and 2 great athletes representing Americas. Former world champion Shaughnessy Barber and current world champion Sam Kendricks. and plenty more track races still to come this afternoon. So 18 points in it. It was 12 at the start of the day. Europe went ahead by 1 at one stage. America went back ahead by 2 and now have a little bit of a cushion. I think we'll see a few more twists and turns of drama before we get to the climax of the afternoon. We're just gone 4 o'clock local time, so we have around about, what, 1 hour, 50 odd minutes left of live action this afternoon. We won't finish until just about 6 o'clock, so that's just a confirmation. Fora was disqualified, but it was irrelevant anyway because he had already pulled up. He had a very heavy strapping on his right leg, so he was never going to finish the race, I don't think. Yeah, less than 2 hours to go. And plenty of drama still to come.
And looking at some of the events ahead, Rob, and some connotations, the men's javelin throw is due to start in 2 or 3 minutes. Thomas Roller for Europe. Look at that, is that right on? Oh, look at that, right on cue. Here's your lineup, and there's the familiar name for Europe. Thomas Roller, the European athlete, along with his 2 German teammates that head the world rankings this year. And Vladlech as well for Europe. That's a very strong European representation in this men's javelin throw. Julius Jago looking to get back to some form is the African.
And the other one you need to keep your eye on in that is Chopra of India, because he was brilliant at the Asian Games a couple of weeks ago with 88+ meters.
So there is the team for Africa, Van Rensburg and Jago. Second at the Olympics in Rio, Jago, but the world champion in 2015, had his injury problems. He's there in Team Africa, along with Van Rensburg, the South African, 4th at the Commonwealth Games. Asia Pacific, there is Chopra and Cheng. Chopra, 88 meters and 6, the Commonwealth champion has thrown this year, along with his Chinese Taipei teammate, the Asian record holder Cheng. 84 meters himself this season. Nice little wave from him on the right in the violet. Look at this European duo though, my gosh. Well, Jakob Vladlech, the Czech Republic athlete, he's due a warm welcome. The world number 5 this year, world silver in London. And then Thomas Roller, the Olympic champion, the European champion, 3rd all time. Talk about a power duo. If they're a boy band, they'll be extremely popular indeed in the charts. Very good quality for the European side. And the Americas in Bargwin and Peters. Peters from Grenada, Commonwealth bronze this year.
I'm still laughing at the prospect of Vladlech and Roller forming a boy band. I don't know whether that would be a rock duo or whether they'd go a bit more pop music. Anyway,
You bring in Vetter and Hoffman, it's a chart topper, I'm telling you.
yeah, maybe. They've certainly got a good chance in that men's jav. Hard to believe, way back in Doha, we had 3 men over 90 meters. It's been a crazy year for the javelin. Right, another track event, one of the long ones. Well, this is the furthest we get in this Continental Cup competition. Women's 3,000 meter steeplechase, Beatrice Chepkoech and Ansa. Chepkoech broke the world record memorably in Monaco. She'll fancy she can win this one. Asia Pacific have a good team. Sudha Singh won the Asian Games title back in 2010. Very good marathon runner as well. And Winfried Yavi took the Asian Games gold this year. Transferee from Kenya a couple of years ago. Ophelia Claude Boxberger and Anna Muller. Boxberger is the French national champion. Muller was 7th in the European champs. She's only 21. Big opportunity for these two, but a big test with Chepkoech going for Africa, the reigning world record holder. Very good duo from the Americas. Aisha Proul, the Jamaican, is the Commonwealth champion. Courtney Frerichs is the silver medalist behind her compatriot Emma Coburn last year in London. One of the great steeplechase races, and a high five for the Jamaican and the American. Frerichs, the 7th fastest in history. So as the women warm up, Just a reminder, it's Devil take the hindmost. We'll start losing athletes with 4 laps to go. The class here should be Beatrice Chepkoech, but watch out for Jarvi and the likes of Proort and Frerichs. Frerichs has got fantastic hurdling ability. One of the reasons, I think, both her and Emma Coburn have been so dominant in the major championships and really pushed the East Africans very, very hard in the early part of this season. Javelin, Catherine?
Indeed, sir. Van Rensburg, Team Africa, opening this men's javelin competition. 79.83 this season, just missed a medal at the Commonwealth Games. Him and his partner Julius Yego, the Kenyan. But remember, it's the same rules. Only the leading athlete from each continent will go through after 3 rounds. It'll be tight, actually, for Africa, potentially between Van Rensburg and Yego. Yego, just over 80 metres this year, 77 metres to win those African championships that Rob said, but he said he wasn't happy at all. And he wouldn't be if you're a 92-metre thrower. But we await the distance of Van Rensburg to come through.
Well, we've seen a couple of championship records this weekend. Sifan Hassan broke the 3,000 flat in the women's race. The championship record here could well go. The final of the women's 3,000 metre steeplechase is underway, and it contains, for Africa, Beatrice Chepkoech, who has gone straight to the front. 8 is Courtney Frerichs. Frerichs got the silver medal last year at the World Championships. 2 of the big names featuring, and Jarvi coming up for Asia Pacific in 3rd. And just a quick reminder, with 4 laps to go, we start losing athletes. What will happen? The athlete who's last with 4 laps to go will have to stop. If they don't, they'll be disqualified anyway. We should get down to only 4 completing the last circuit. And Catherine, it's all at a canter at the moment for the world record holder. She looks very, very comfortable out front with the American Frerichs in 2nd.
Yeah, this is the way we saw the equivalent race run over 3,000 and 3,000 metre steeple yesterday. It's very, I think the word you described, or the couple of words you described, was self-policing. The athletes know what they need to do. Chepkoech has gone out in front. She's the best in the field. She's keeping herself out of trouble. So when they start dropping off athletes with those 4 laps to go, she's not going to be involved in that. Friedrichs is doing the same. Sensible running here, the African. In such wonderful form, as you say, but keeping herself now, what, 10, 15 metres away from the rest of the field. Such is her quality.
She's a big talent, Chepkoech. Singh took a really laboured clamber over that water jump. She's in last place. She is a former world performer. She's had some good results, Sudha Singh, 5th in the Com Games back in Delhi. Hard to believe that was 8 years ago, but Chepkoech is the class here, and she's a long way clear. 6 laps to go. Frerichs in 2nd, and Weishanet Ansah, the Ethiopian representing Africa, she's going well in 3rd. 4th in the African Championships, World Youth Bronze a couple of years ago. But Chepkoech out on her own as she heads into the back straight. Her technique getting a little better. Frerichs and Coburn both put a lot of time into their barrier work. Sometimes with the East Africans, you see them flicking their legs out to the side, but that was good from Chepkoech. 8:44 for that world record, and she felt, Catherine, as though she might one day be capable of sub 8:40. That's how confident she is this year. Not just breaking a world record, but already talking about smashing it again.
You look at her personal best for the various other middle distances, a 4:03 over 1,500. She finished 7th at the World Indoors in Birmingham in England early this year in March, 2nd at the Commonwealth Games over that 1,500 metre distance. So she potentially has the ability with speed, and therefore building on that with speed endurance, to go under that 8:40 barrier. And the way she ran the 8:44.32, oh, you don't bet against it, do you? 2:57 at 1,000 metres.
Very good time, and that's why she's out front, because she's the only woman in the field who's ever gone inside 9 minutes. Sam Kendricks opening his account here in the pole vault. What a fine season it's been for the American. That was too easy. He's had so many wins on the season. Eugene, Rome, Paris, Rabat, London. He's the reigning world champion, and he'll be hoping to beat the likes of Morganov, who's gone over 6 meters this season. That was quality.
It's been a great year, hasn't it? Lavillenie, Kendricks battling at the World Indoor Championships, but now you're adding in the names of Duplantis and Morganov. The men's pole vault has been superb to watch this year, and going forward to those IAAF World Championships next year, and obviously with years to come, is set up very nicely indeed. But no change in this women's 3,000 meter steeplechase.
Yes, Chepkoech still very comfortable, and the athlete we will lose is going to be Sudha Singh. So you may see the camera flick back to the Indian. 4 laps to go. It's a fine race so far by the African world record holder, and Sudha Singh, she's a 2:35 marathon runner. She's been a great contributor to Indian athletics and continues to do so here. She's limping a little bit. That's a sad end to her race. She is eliminated, and another one will go at the end of the next lap. So Chepkoech leads, went through that first 1,000 meters in 2:57. She's really going for this, and we now have a big pack all running together. Frerichs will want to make sure that she is safe, and we could see a big burn-up behind Chepkoech, Catherine, because there isn't an obvious casualty at this stage, but one of the women in that group to your left there, now coming up to the water jump, one of them will be eliminated at the end of this lap.
Well, that's it. It's thinking about getting yourself in position here as Chepkoech comes down the home straight. Solo run, nice and easy. But we keep an eye on this pack here behind. Let's have a look at who's going to be at the back. Team Americas, Africa's in there. The Europeans look like they're in a decent position. Muller's got to be careful, though, here.
There's a little bit of bumping and barging going on, and Praut leaves it very late now. It could well be the other African, Weishanet Answer. Now, the only reason she wouldn't stop is if they deemed it too close, in which case she would be allowed to continue. But I can see it on the scoreboard on the far side of the arena, and Answer, just to make absolutely certain, is about to be shown the paddle. She must stop, otherwise she'll be disqualified anyway, and she is still running, but she has been eliminated from the race. 6:02, so 3:04. So we've had a 2:57 and a 3:04 from Chepkoech. It's not really surprising. She's doing it all on her own. Answer has been eliminated. If she continues the race, she will be disqualified, which means she won't get any points for the African continent.
There must be a dilemma for some of these athletes, though, Rob. Think Ange's a 9:27 runner, the Ethiopian. If she feels she's on a decent time here, she's probably not really interested in getting no points for the team. Yes, she'll be DQ, but she'd still get a time. So it's going to be interesting to see whether she actually stops here, because now she's just confusing everybody else in the race because she's not supposed to be there.
Yes, it's either going to be Praut or Boxberger, and it should be Boxberger who's now disqualified. And now, at last, Answer has stopped, and Boxberger is still running, but she has been eliminated, and maybe that added to the confusion as she tripped over that barrier. So we have lost 2. Answer's walked off the track. Boxberger is carrying on, but she's gone.
She's gone, but is she following Answer? Because maybe Answer thought she had to complete the lap that she was supposed to not complete, and therefore now you've got the European maybe thinking, but there's 2 officials on these races and the board on the back straight, Rob, so she has now dropped out. But at the front, Chepkoech she's oblivious to all of this because she's now some 50 meters ahead of the rest of the field.
It's a massive lead for Beatrice Chepkoech. She is a fine athlete, as Catherine was saying. So good over the 1500 flat. Commonwealth silver, great performance at the World Indoors. Chepkoech takes the bell. She's miles clear. Frerichs and Yavi, and it looks as though Muller's okay, so the athlete who will be denied, unless she speeds up very quickly, will be Praut, the Jamaican for the Americas. And Muller absolutely shattered there. She's just about managing to keep going. That's what we found in these Devil Take the Hindmost races, that the athletes who just survive have almost run their race and they jog in on the last lap. But let's focus on the world record holder, one of the stars of the year, Beatrice 27 years of age, just off the podium in Rio. Frerichs is in second place, and she finished with the silver last year in London in a great performance. Yavi is the the Asian Games champion, she's in third, and Muller's a long way back in fourth place. It was a very bold pace early on, 2:57, her second kilometre was 3:04, so it's not the fireworks we were expecting, but she's already asking the crowd to celebrate, just as Concestas Kipruto did yesterday. Beatrice finishes a fine season here at the Continental Cup, 9:07. It is a massive championship record. Frerichs coming home in second, and Yavi completes the 1-2-3. But there was only ever one athlete in it, and it was just a question of by how much she beat the championship record, and it was a huge winning margin. Muller will come fourth. She's done well to survive the devil take the hindmost, but Beatrice finishes the season on top where she belongs.
Well, it was so easy. Confirmation of that huge championship record, 9:07.92, $30,000 for the win. And Africa had their athlete deliver in that women's 3,000 meter steeplechase.
Loses a little bit of ground there, Chepkoech. Many of the men hurdle the water jump, which actually, in its athleticism, is quite staggering. But she didn't need to be hurdling the penultimate barrier. She was miles clear and had enough time to celebrate and really enjoy the end of a season that has taken her to new heights as far as this event is concerned.
So about a 15-minute break on the track before the next action, which is the women's 400 meter hurdles. But field event action still going on at opposite ends of the stadium here. Well, the men's pole vault and the men's javelin. Chepkoech signs autographs for the fans. And Lavillenie entering the competition at 5.65 meters.
Well, he's virtually a veteran now at the age of 31, the oldest in this field by 5 years. He let all the others do the early heights, and he's come in and shown his class exactly when it counts. So good from Lavillenie, but he knows this season that he has some very, very talented youngsters challenging him next year for the one title he doesn't have. Amazingly, Lavillenie, 5.65, first time clearance, really class. He's still yet to become a world outdoor champion.
Bladlech then for Europe in this men's javelin competition. Oh, the crowd like him, of course, their homeboy, the world silver medalist. First round, over 89 meters this season. Well, it falls shy just of the 75-meter line. I think he's put his foot over himself, I think, such as his unhappiness with the throw. If that was the case, you're probably going to see an X on his scorecard. Yep, he decided, no, thank you very much.
Been a fascinating season for the men's javelin. And one world-class competition has already begun, and another one not too far away, Catherine. Really looking forward to seeing how the irrepressible Catherine Ingebrigtsen goes here for the Americas.
Rob's excited, one of his favourite athletes in 2018. Ingebrigtsen is back, and understandably so. What a wonderful season she's had, as Rob said, in the long jump and the triple jump. That was your lineup for the women's long jump. Commonwealth champion, European champion and Diamond League winner. All looking for points here in Ostrava.
Next event along the main straightaway,
And here's the team for Asia Pacific. Zhu of China, 6.64 this season on the left, Brooke Stratton. The Australian, their national record holder, 7th in Rio, 6th in London last year. Picked up a silver at the Gold Coast in the Commonwealth Games, much to the delight of the home fans. 7.05 at the best a couple of seasons ago, Stratton, the Australian. Next, though, the team from Europe on the left, Shara Proctor, 3rd at the Commonwealth Games, 3rd at the European Championships, 6.91 this year. Sits nicely in the world rankings, and Malika Mahambo, the European champion.
Representing Team America.
2 European medalists in the European side. And then Team Americas, Christabel Netty, Catherine Mbargwin. I don't think she ever stops smiling, Mbargwin.
That's why I like her. She's such a happy character. Brilliant for the sport.
Netty, the Commonwealth champion. Mbargwin, the Diamond League winner. And won the triple jump yesterday as well. Back for more for her team, the Americas. And then the duo for Team Africa, Arthur Koala and Ezi Brume. Burkina Faso, Arthur Yasmin Koala. Multiple African Championship medalist, 6.64 this season. Along with the teammate Ezi Brume of Nigeria, 3 times the African champion. So Sam Kendricks in the men's pole vault. Poised and ready. Talk about nice people in track and field. Sam Kendricks, there's one for you.
Very generous with all his rivals. Didn't get that one right. He'll have other chances. There's a real esprit de corps amongst the male pole vaulters. Not totally unheard of for them to lend each other poles if they lose them in transit from Diamond League to Diamond League, and Kendricks is as good as anyone at passing on his assistance in that regard.
Yeah, the camaraderie with the female pole vaulters and the male pole vaulters is absolutely wonderful. It's kind of one of those gangs you'd want to be involved in. I want to be in their gang. And they do help each other out a lot, especially the likes of Sam Kendricks and Ramona Villeneuve for me over the last couple of years when I work on the Diamond League circuit. The experience and advice that they give to the likes of Mondo Duplantis. Mondo calls Renault Grandad. That's how much advice and respect he has for him. And imagine learning from those 2 guys as your career progresses. They're a good bunch, the pole vaulters.
And it's a fascinating time in this event, in the men's competition, because you do feel as though there's the beginning of the changing of a guard with the likes of Morganov, who's only 21. I mean, Barber's still only 24 and is already a former world champion coming back to form. Mondo's just 18 and he's jumped 6.05, which is incredible. But we might not necessarily have seen the best days of Le Villenie and the likes of Kendricks. So what about Barber then? Coming back to form, he's had a 5.92 this season. This should be pretty comfortable, but it's not. So Kendricks and Barber just running into a few problems at 5.75. Barber only has 1 more chance remaining. The Villeneuve has looked fairly comfortable. In fact, the Villeneuve, by the way, has elected to pass at 5.75. So Kendricks will be facing his 2nd attempt. Meanwhile, we return to the track. Yet another brilliant final just moments away.
The women's 400-meter hurdles. Team Americas is pretty strong here. Tessa Bidouan, the African captain here, Team Africa. She has a championship record as well. She'll be keeping an eye. But in lane number 8 for Europe, Anna Rizakova, European silver, the world number 8 this year, 54.51 seconds. In lane number 7 for Asia Pacific, the Japanese athlete, Yuri Yusunomaya, the heptathlete, 56.84, lifetime best in 2018. In lane number 6, the Moroccan, Lami Lahabsbi, African Championship silvers in 2008 and 2018 for the 34-year-old. But then the world number 2 in lane number 5 for the Americas, Shamir Little, 9th all-time, 52.75 last year. In lane number 4, representing Europe, Great Britain and Northern Ireland's Megan Beasley, the UK champion, the European bronze medalist, the fast starter, starts in lane number 4 for Europe. In lane number 3 for Asia Pacific, Youssef Jamal Odiemi, the Bahrain athlete, just 21, 55.34, a lifetime best this season. And in lane number 2, the experienced bronze medalist at the Commonwealth Games this year, Donnelly of South Africa, twice the African champion, 54.61 this year. And then in the tight inside line, Genevieve Russell, the Jamaican, running for Team Americas, the Commonwealth champion, the world number 3. The women's 400-meter hurdles, Shamir Little for the Americas starts in 5. 52.96 Bidouan ran to win this in 1998. Russell, Nell, Odiemi, Beardsley, excuse me, Little in 5, Abhaz in 6, Yuksona Maya in 7, Rizakova in 8. 3 athletes ranked in the world top 10 are here. The fastest, Shamir Little, in lane number 5. So keep an eye on Megan Beasley in lane number 4. She always starts fast, the European athletes. Russell can see the whole field in this women's 400 metres hurdles in lane number 1. Odiemi flying down the back straight in lane number 3. Some decent running by Rizakova in lane number 8, the Ukrainian for Europe on the outside. So in the sunshine on the top bend, it is Odiemi, the Bahrain athlete, in lane number 3 going well. Russell trying to make her way through the field. She's making up some ground here on the inside line, is the Jamaican for the Americas. She's going to come through in the lead, is Genevieve Russell. Shamir Little's got a little bit of work to do in lane number 5, but Russell negotiates the 10th barrier perfectly. Russell from Little, from Rizakova on the outside, 53.63 seconds. The Commonwealth champion. That's a wonderful run, you know. Her season's best is 53.46. And from the inside line, that is some very good running for the Commonwealth champion. Well, we've seen major championships won before from lane 1. Angelo Taylor won the Olympics in Sydney from the tight inside line. Good races have been run there in the 4 hurdles. But Genevieve Russell will be very, very pleased with that. 53.62 seconds. Good running indeed.
Well, this is how good that run was. Only Shamir Little and Sydney McLaughlin have run quicker than that this season. 53.63, superb. Yarashuk Rizakova on the outside ran quite well. She came through late. The Bahraini tied up really badly towards the end of the race. That would be expected. She went out so hard, but Genevieve Russell, the Commonwealth champion, who also got a gold in the 4x4, she came through well there. One race too far, perhaps, for Little, who's on the all-time list with 52.75. Not to be the title for her today. The Ukrainian was a long way back in 3rd, but was on the podium. Really good run that from Russell, saving almost her very best run of the season for her last outing. That was a fine, fine performance, comfortably inside 54 seconds from a tough, tough lane.
She's had a good year, won the Commonwealth title, the Jamaican title, 2nd in London at the Diamond League, 2nd in Birmingham, 3rd in Zurich in the Diamond League final. A very good run indeed by Genevieve Russell. And there's confirmation, America's 1 and 2. So 15 points in total means that the European side have 11 points, so the 8 points go to the Americas. Europe pick up 6. Asia Pacific and Africa pick up 3.
Yes, it's the combined points of the 2 athletes that contribute to a team score, and if a continent win an event, it's another 8 points. So 30 points separating the Africans from Asia Pacific. Well, it's still a sizable gap, this deficit is not showing too many signs of being closed out so far. I wonder if the likes of Vadalic can help the European campaign here. He's certainly on paper got the talent to ensure top points go the way of his continent. Let's see.
Well, he's got to get past Thomas Roller to be the top European after the first 3 rounds. That's a task in itself, isn't it, Rob? But it's got to be an improvement because his first round was a no-throw. Oh, that's slap bang in the middle of the 75-85 metre line. Looks a little bit nonplussed with it. Gives a shake of his head. Won the Ostrava Golden Spike meeting here earlier this season. 8th at the European Championships. I can tell you, Roller had a no-throw in the first round. But Vadalic has gone out to around 80 metres here. 79 metres and 67. Second place so far.
Now Lavillenie, he's been bold today. Waited until 5.65, didn't bother with 5.75. Is he going to be the first man clear at 5.80? Oh, yes, he is. The Frenchman looks on fire here in Ostrava this afternoon. He's vaulted twice and sailed over 5.65 and now 5.80. Well, the young guns have put him under pressure this season, but he's in the mood to say, listen, I'm only 31, I'm not a dinosaur just yet, and I might still have a moment or two of magic to contribute to this sport.
Well, he's a defending Continental Cup champion. So from one top European to another, Thomas Roller, his second attempt in this men's javelin. 91.78 this year, behind Vetter and Hoffman. Oh, that's better. It's the speed of the release. The javelin just goes and goes, and look at that, towards the 85-metre line. Well, the Olympic title in Rio, the European title in Berlin. Coached formerly by Boris Henry. Vetter, Hoffman and Roller. The 3 Germans, take your pick. Roller, 84 metres and 30 into the lead, and importantly, the leading European looking towards round 4. Embarking then in the women's long jump. Triple jump won yesterday. 14.76. Oh, that's a good opener, isn't it? It looks over about 6.5 metres. Olympic champion in the triple jump. The Diamond League winner picks up $100,000 in the space of about 24 hours to win both titles, the first to ever win both in a season. A former volleyball player, just loves jumping in sand. Great first attempt, 6 metres and 68 into the lead. So here we go then, Chopra, Asia Pacific, is in 3rd at the moment, 80 metres and 24. He's thrown 88 metres and 6 centimetres this year, the reigning Asian Games champion. What's the Commonwealth champion got? Oh, hello. He gets right back up to look at that one. Oh, it's going to be close because it's over the 85-metre line, but it might have gone out of the sector.
It did, Catherine.
Oh.
What a shame for him. I tell you what, this guy is on brilliant form, Catherine. He won that Asian Games title in Jakarta by almost 6 metres, and he knows that was a good effort that won't count.
Yeah, it's registered as a no-throw. Vadalic. The Czech crowd would love their boy to do something special here. He's chasing the throw of Roller, though, 84 metres and 30. Oh, hello! He might have surpassed him, you know. Roller, 84 metres and 30 in round number 2. We need the leading thrower from each continent, and Vadalic in his own backyard. That's better. He nailed that one. The flight was much better. 84 meters and 76. He goes into the lead in the competition and leads the European duo. Ingebrigtsen for the Americas. 67 meters and 63. Then he did a no-throw in round number 2. Well, these field event formats, like them or love them, you cannot say they're not exciting, and they come thick and fast. Drops well below the 75-meter line. So Ingebrigtsen, it's an improvement for him, 71 meters and 8 centimeters. But his America's teammate Peters has gone further than that. Right,
we've seen Javelin sail over 580. What about Kendricks? He's the reigning world champion. Oh, yes. This competition is just beginning to bubble up nicely, and the subplot here is that the two big men are battling for top honours, obviously for themselves, but for their continents as well, because the Americas are trying to hang on to this lead over Europe. Javelin is leading at the moment because he's only had 2 attempts and he's cleared both of them. Kendricks needed 2 to get over 575. That's why he's in second place. So it's Europe 1, Americas 2 at the moment in the men's pole vault.
Oh, 595, Rob's the championship record from Steve Hooker back in 2010. You're not going to discount that today. Lovely conditions here at the Meski Stadium. Cheng then of Asia Pacific, 76 meters and 99. That was his best so far. It's a couple of meters shy of the 85-meter line. 84 meters and 60 is his best this season. He's a 91-meter thrower last year. And this is round number 3 in this men's javelin throw. 82 meters and 6 centimeters, goes into second. Asia Pacific, that's the leader at the moment. Now then, the man with the golden bling in his house from the Olympics and the European Championships. 84 meters and 30 at his best. What have you got? He watches it fly. 84.76 is what Vadlek's threw. Look at that, he's only got to surpass him. How to silence a crowd in Ostrava with one throw.
Yeah, I'm not sure too many people are going to be buying him a beer tonight, even though they're both on the same team, in inverted commas. They wanted to see their man, the silver medalist last year, taking another throw in the 4th round. However, it is good news for Europe, because the huge throwing ruler is waking up, it would seem, at the right time in this competition.
86.39. The lead is back with Europe and Roller. And here are your 4 men to get through the qualifying, as we're calling into the semi-final stage. Your leading throwers from Team Americas, Europe, Asia Pacific and Africa. Olympic silver medalist, Asian record holder, Olympic champion, and that World Junior bronze medalist from 2 years ago, Anderson Peters.
Now Javelin, number 1 today, the oldest man in the field by 6 years, still only 31 by the way, multiple world indoor champion, Olympic champion. No, there's his first failure. I was just double checking there that he hadn't hurt himself on the way down, but he looks okay. 1 attempt needed at 65, at 80, but he'll need a second go at 585. But he is leading at the moment. Here's a confirmation in the javelin of the 4 men who will be returning. And do you know what, Catherine? He's one of my favourite javelin throwers of all time. Julius Jago's had a couple of years in the wilderness. The man who learned how to throw the javelin on YouTube, and there followed some amazing performances, not least of which that brilliant world title a few years ago.
The 2015 world champion. Oh, Jan Zalesny style, throws himself to the ground. Oh, virtually vertical landing for Jago. Remember, all the previous distances are wiped. Not in terms of prize money, for your information. That goes from 30,000 down to 1,000 for 8, but for the points, it's wiped clear. He was 4th in this Continental Cup 4 years ago in Marrakesh. Has his injury problems, as Rob said, a car accident as well, so he's trying to fight his way back. Right, 78 metres and 41. That is the distance that the other 3 athletes have to chase. Top 2 go into round 5. So Mr. Cheng, 82 metres and 6 centimetres in the previous round. Didn't qualify for the World Championship final last year. Chasing now 78 metres and 41. Watches it go. Ooh! Well, he's decided to plant his javelin on the right-hand side of the sector. Kept it in, though. That's going to surpass, potentially, Jago's effort. We await the distance from Cheng. 83 metres and 28, so Cheng and Jago are the 2 at the moment. Thomas Roller has got to surpass 78 metres 41 at the moment. He bounces, he's poised, eyes on the prize for the Olympic champion. And the roar, and the roar. Well, drops well below the 85-metre line. The question is, has he surpassed the 78 metres and 41 of Jago?
Well, this would be disappointing. Yeah, it would be disappointing for the Europeans. It came down way shy of what we know this giant thrower is usually capable of.
80 metres and 61 was clearer than we thought to our naked eye here in the stadium. So, Peters, the final athlete to potentially get himself in the top 2. Currently it's Cheng and Roller. Well, I don't think it's going to surpass the 80 metre 61 distance of Thomas Roller. Great shot there of Anderson Peters from Grenada, the Commonwealth Games bronze medalist. Still just 20 years old. No, 78 metres and 42. So the final will be between Roller and Cheng. Winner takes all with 1 throw. A little bit of a fist bump between them. You do that to me, Rob, before we come on air.
We do. We like to get each other fired up to make sure we're going to try and do a half-decent job. Not sure we always manage it, but hey, we hope you're enjoying the coverage back home. It's a different competition, this one. We've had to be reminding ourselves, as well as you back home, of the rules, and this is how it works. It's a straight one-off throw. Everything they've done up until now is irrelevant. The only reason their 4th round efforts become included again is if they both have a no throw, which we hope is extremely unlikely. Cheng or Roller to finish on top in the men's javelin.
Chinese Taipei or Germany, Asia Pacific or Europe. 1 throw for glory for Cheng. He watches it fly. 83.28 in the previous round. He's had 2 throws today over 82 metres. He's got quite consistent as this competition's gone on. Remember though, Roller, to give us an idea of the form he's in, 86.39 in the 3rd round. Doesn't mean anything in terms of where the points are going to go, but it gives us an idea of what the Olympic champion can do here today. So, 81 metres and 81. 26-year-old Thomas Roller of Germany. He's used to battles. He battles in his home country, for God's sake, with the likes of Johannes Vetter and Andreas Hoffmann. You want anyone on your side when you're going into battle, it's a German javelin thrower. Thomas Roller, 1 throw for glory, and it quite simply has to be further than 81 metres and 81 to get the points. just saying, he threw 93.90 last season, so we know what he's capable of. Good support from his teammate Blacek. Is this the one to win it? The whole stadium holds its breath and watches it fly. Oh! That's why you have Thomas Roller in the European team at the Continental Cup.
They absolutely love that. There's an appreciation of distance races here, Catherine, because it's where Zatopek broke the 10,000 world record in 1949. But this is also a country and an area where they really appreciate world-class throwers. And everybody was watching Roller there, and everybody enjoyed the biggest throw of the competition, the very last throw, and he saved the best for just when it was needed.
Well, you do wonder if Jan Zalesny, the Czech Republic world record holder with 98.48, is in the house somewhere. He would have appreciated that. 87 meters and 7 centimeters. Thomas Roller saved his best till last, picked up the points for Europe. But we wait for the overall standings to add them together to see who gets the 8 points overall in terms of the continent. Well, his father was once a German champion in fishing rod casting, so there is some talent there in various sports in the Roller household.
Your research there is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Fishing rod casting. Catherine Merry, the former Olympic bronze medalist, going above and beyond the call of duty. Well, the son of the fishing rod casting champion from Germany helps Europe come out on top there with 87.07. We'll try and bring you the breaking news as to the biggest fish Roller's dad once caught. But anyway, let's turn our attention to the men's 1500 metres. A really good race in prospect here. And what a fabulous youngster, Jakob Ingebrigtsen. Hard to believe he won 2 European titles. Next to him, the fabulously named Jinson Johnson, a 1500-metre Asian Games champion. Elijah Manangoy will be the favourite for this one, though, you would think. The reigning world champion, Commonwealth champion. His brother George won the World Junior title, just beating Jakob Ingebrigtsen in that race. So Ingebrigtsen maybe getting a little bit of revenge today over Manangoy Senior rather than Junior. Manangoy for Africa, partnered with Musagala, very talented Ugandan, who sometimes likes to explode straight to the front right from the very start. But what a story from Jakob Ingebrigtsen. Reigning European champion over 1500 and 5000, and he's still only 17. Following his brothers Henrik and Philip as European 1500-metre champions. Jinson Johnson, Asian Games champion, had a fine sprint over the last 150 in Jakarta. I was there watching, and tactically he was very impressive. Elijah Manangoy, reigning world champion, African champion, Commonwealth champion, second fastest in the world this year. Charles Philibert Thibutot, representing the Americas, the Canadian, 3 times national champion. Now Lewandowski loves to leave it late, world indoor champion. Almost beat Jakob Ingebrigtsen in the 15 at the European champs, only lost by 400, just left his charge far too late. Ryan Gregson, 5th in the world youth, right here, 11 years ago. 4 times a national champion for Australia. Musagala is the fast-starting Ugandan I was mentioning, African bronze behind Manangoy in a slightly controversial African Championships, and Andrew Hunter on the inside, second in the Eugene Mile earlier this year. He's 21 years of age. Men's 1500, it's a straight race, no devil take the hindmost. Elijah Manangoy, the world, African and Commonwealth champion, will be the favourite for this one. One of the 2 men in the distinctive yellow vests, the one nearest the camera, is Musagala, the Ugandan. Watch out as well for this sensational teenager from Norway, Jakob Ingebrigtsen, on the outside. A great sense of anticipation ahead of this race. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, the sensational 17-year-old, has gone straight to the back. He's not interested. Musagala, No surprise, he's gone straight to the front, as he often does. Watch out for Lewandowski as well. He finishes like a steam train, but sometimes leaves himself too much to do. He's in third at the moment, with the big danger man, Elijah Menangoy, just loping along, seemingly effortlessly, in fourth place.
Yes, you could throw one of those sporting blankets over the whole field in this men's 1500 metres. Jinson Johnson, the Indian there in the violet vest. But it's Hunter that's decided to make a bit of a play for this. Got the white headband on the inside line. The American athlete, 10th in the Birmingham Diamond League over the mile distance, the 21-year-old. Looking to stretch this out and make a bit more of a race of it.
Yeah, perhaps he recognises that leaving it to a last lap burn-up will put him and the Americas as a continent out of the reckoning. Look at Menangoy in second place, so composed. He's run 3:29, finishing just behind Chariot, his compatriot and good friend. They've had a great rivalry this year. It's just beginning to bubble up nicely, but Menangoy looks very comfortable in second place. No move yet from this incredible 17-year-old Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who just looks over his shoulder. Gregson is in last place at the moment, but they're all very, very closely bunched here. Hunter's at the front, but he's not really having an impact in terms of stretching them out. Look how tight they are as they come round now with 2 to go.
Menangoy on the shoulder of Hunter. Here's young Ingebrigtsen on the left of your shot with the number 8 on his hip, making his move, getting himself into position as they go down the back straight for the penultimate time. No real distance between this whole field yet, but you know the pace is going to stretch out. Ingebrigtsen now on the shoulder of Menangoy, the world number 2.
Ingebrigtsen trying to put the reigning world champion under a little bit of pressure, and his confidence will be sky high. Remember, he's run 3:31 and he still hasn't turned 18. He is arguably the best of the 3 brothers currently competing, Henrik and Philip. We'll see Henrik in the 3,000 metres a little bit later. Don't forget about Lewandowski, the other European. Usually leaves himself too much to do, but he's so quick if he's in the mix, and he is coming up towards the bell now. They take the bell in the men's 1500 metres. Menangoy, the reigning world champion. He's got Ingebrigtsen, the reigning European champion, on his shoulder. Watch out for Lewandowski as well. Jinson Johnson on the inside in third place, the winner of the Asian Games with a big sprint finish. And Musagala trying to stay with his African teammate in this case, the Ugandan, desperately trying to keep in touch. Menangoy is leading, but they're all queuing up. Jinson Johnson trying to come wide on the outside. Lewandowski's in a great position to strike here if he's got enough at the end of a really tough season. Jakob Ingebrigtsen now boxed in a little bit on the curb. Menangoy's going, but he's not pulling away. Now a couple of metres opens up. Menangoy, the world champion. It's a tired race, but he gives a salute as he crosses the line. It's Europe's second and third. Lewandowski coming home in second and Ingebrigtsen in third. He had to really work for that, Menangoy, but he had enough class and composure to salute the camera whizzing down the side of the course as he crossed the line. The world champion, Commonwealth champion and African champion is the Continental Cup winner in 2018.
You see on the replay in third, Ingebrigtsen was on that inside line, but even then his teammate Lewandowski pulled away from him. Not quite sure how much the youngster had left. He was looking across, but Menangoy salutes the crowd. Lewandowski second for Europe, and Ryan Gregson, the Australian, for Asia Pacific. He was charging down on the outside, but it's Africa, Europe and Europe in the 1, 2, 3 in that men's 1500 metres. In the yellow vest with Elijah Menangoy took the victory in the 3 3/4 lap event.
And I'm fairly sure that'll be maximum points for Europe, because I'm still waiting to see where Musagala finished, and he's not in the top 6. So with second and third, that should be 8 points in the team competition for Europe, who hope to close the gap on the Americas.
And talking of the Americas, Rob, right on cue, the women's shot put. Thomas Dodd and Saunders representing for Team Americas. The Jamaican on the left, the Commonwealth Games champion, 19 metres and 36 this season. And Raven Saunders from the USA, 5th at the Rio Olympics on the right, 3rd at the US Championships this year. Well, they both look ready to rock and roll, don't they? This competition, Commonwealth champion, European champion and world leader in this women's shot put competition. They've waited patiently across the weekend at this Continental Cup for their action to begin. There's 2 field events left, this women's shot put and the women's javelin throw to come. So Team Africa, Jessica Inchude and Senecal from Africa. Ishka Senecal, the South African, 1756 this year for the African champion in this event. Asia Pacific, Nora Salam Jassim and Li Zhu Gong. That's a strong team. Gong on the left of your shot there. And standing the other way around, the world champion, the world leader, 20 metres and 38, 10 wins out of 10 outdoors this year for Gong of China. She leads the Asia Pacific team, but there's talent in Europe. Olina Guba and Kristina Svanic. That's a good pairing for Europe, isn't it? The European champion Guba and Svanic, the defending Continental Cup champion. The 1 and 2 from that great competition at the European Championships in Berlin are back. Guba overtook Kristina Svanic in the final round, saying, I even surprised myself. So, the semi-finalists, as we're calling it in the women's long jump, the Rume, Mihambo, Mbargwin and Stratton. So, Brooke Stratton in the 4th round, her best in the qualifying first 3 rounds, 6 metres and 58 in round number 2. So she's the leading representative from Asia Pacific in this women's long jump. She will set the way for us to get the final 2 for round number 5. And it's good as well, it's her best of the day, 6 metres and 71. That's a decent distance for the others to chase. Mihambo then, the European champion. 6 metres and 99 this season. Wins on the Diamond League circuit, needs to get in the top 2 here. There's the scorecard, 6 metres and 68 her best in round number 2. Chasing 6 metres and 71 from Stratton. It looks around about the 6.5 metre line for the German. The German champion, indoors and out. The world number 2 this year, 6 metres and 99 that distance. The only athlete over 7 metres in the world, Britain's Lorraine Ugan. Oh, she gave away loads on the board. 6 metres and 58, that could cost her. It really could. On the board, she'd have been a lot nearer, if not past. Stratton, 6 metres and 71. So, Catherine Mbargwin, the Colombian athlete for Team Americas. As I mentioned, she won the triple jump yesterday, 14.76. She leads the world with the triple jump rankings of 14.96. She wants the crowd to get behind her. 6 metres and 87, a lifetime best is what she jumped this year in June in France. But she needs to go past 6 metres and 58 to put herself in a good position here. She's nearing the 7 metre line. She looks back. The height was there. I mentioned it yesterday, but if you ask her which event she enjoys the most, as we see there, perfect on the board, triple jump or long jump, she says long jump. It's so much easier technically. She's really enjoyed herself this season. 6 meters and 85 has come through. That is 2 centimeters shy of her lifetime best again when it matters. So currently, Ingebrigtsen and Stratton in the final. And it's only Brume from Team Africa that can potentially spoil the Americas or Asia Pacific party. She's a 6'83" jumper. She did that at the African Championship. She backs it up with a 6'82". No. She didn't seem to have much speed. She looks like she's hurt herself as well. So, the two that will take on the final round, the 5th and final round, Brooke Stratton, Catherine Ingebrigtsen. This women's long jump competition. Just glancing down to see what the championship record is here. Oh, wow. It was set in 1985 by Heike Drechsler, 7 meters and 27. It's one of those, what we call safe records in championship terms, Rob.
That's brutal. A huge record. The same Heike Drechsler who was clearing the pit at the European Championships in Berlin, which was a nice touch. But Ingebrigtsen is just in sensational form. 2 wins, back-to-back Diamond League, long jump and triple jump. Wins the triple here and has got a chance to do so, but not if Brooke Stratton launches a really big one here. Key moments for the Australian.
It's this distance that counts in the final round. Oh, she's hit the board well. It's round about 6.5 meters again. Coached by her father, Russell Stratton, the Australian champion. Really good silver medal on the Gold Coast at the Commonwealth Games after missing Glasgow 4 years previously with a stress fracture in her back. Perfect on the board, and the marker that Ingebrigtsen has to chase, 6 meters and 52. So, last weekend, Catherine Ingebrigtsen made herself $100,000, didn't she, Rob? By winning both the Diamond League long jump and triple jump. Yesterday, she won $30,000. The Shandies are on Ingebrigtsen.
They already are, but can she turn 130,000 into 160,000? She has proven in the last 10 days that she always gets it right at just the perfect moment. She's still at the very peak of her powers at the age of, what, 34? A supreme major occasion performer, and she has a chance now to deliver again with the whole stadium in the palm of her hand.
Well, from not qualifying in the Olympic high jump final in Athens in 2004, she's become the best combined jumper in the long and the triple jump for women. Last chance saloon, 6 meters and 52 is what she has to surpass to get good points for Team Americas. Was it ever in doubt? Was it ever in doubt? Catherine Ingebrigtsen, well, when they start handing awards out in 2018, wherever you are in the world, this woman is going to appear as a phenomenal achiever in 2018. We await the distance, the height, the simple technique. It's so effective. 6 meters and 93. I know what, I'm going to smash my personal best with 1 jump to win Team America's points in the Continental Cup in September. That's Catherine Ingebrigtsen.
She's got to be a candidate for one of the athletes of the season. Not only a PB, but a national record as well. Maybe Catherine, on the strength of what we've seen her doubling up with this weekend and at the Diamond League, does she do both next season, or does that risk injury in the triple jump? She's on fire at the end of this year. Absolutely incredible.
Team America wins 6 meters and 93. There's confirmation. NR national record for Colombia. 8 points for Catherine Ingebrigtsen. Everything she touches at the moment is gold, and wonderful competition. Smile indeed. Team Americas and coach Mike Powell. Captain Mike Powell will enjoy that one. There we go, here's confirmation then. Americas and Europe, 7 points apiece.
They share the points because there's a total of 14 available for first and second, so if the two teams are tied, they share the 14 points, hence they get 7 rather than 8 for the traditional win. And look at that, Catherine, 15 points. The Americas still lead. How crucial could that that great form be for Ingebrigtsen, and how crucial this could be for Kendricks. A chance here to finish on top in the pole vault. Yes! Kendricks moves ahead of Renaud Lavillenie. That is superb from the reigning world champion. He was under a little bit of pressure there, needed to deliver, and he did. Sam Kendricks gets the fist pump, 5.85. He's the first man clear, and he's in the lead. It's getting better and better for the Americas. Now, last chance for Lavillenie. Elected to have the bar raised to 5.90. This for the win, or he finishes second. No, not to be for the 2012 Olympic champion. It's good points for Europe. However, just totting this up as I'm looking at it, America 1, America's 3, Europe 2nd and 4th. So it will be a maximum 8 points here again for the Americas team. Europe will pick up a useful contribution, but their deficit will grow just a little bit further. Lavillenie, a fine first-time clearance at 5.80, but not able to match Kendricks getting over 5.85. The Americas have taken the points, and here he goes. We've seen Ingebrigtsen produce a national record in the women's long jump. Kendricks, 6.01. No, maybe pushing it. He's one of the nicest guys on the circuit. It's been a great season, and he finishes on top. Great for him, and great for the American continent in terms of their quest to wrestle this title out of the hands of the Europeans. They're doing a pretty good job of getting it so far.
Yeah, the relevance of 6.01 for Sam. Sam Kendricks' lifetime best last year when he joined the 6 metre club. It's 6 metres exactly, so why not try for a personal best in your final competition? That's a good psychological boost to go into winter training before a World Championship year. Flowers, no doubt. For his wife, got married last season, and this is the standings then after 32 events of 37. We're nearing the end. Africa in 4th, Asia Pacific in 3rd, Europe in 2nd with 215 points. 15 points ahead of Team Americas. They're looking to snatch this Continental Cup trophy away from Europe.
Well, I've dragged Colin and Jana away from Captain's Corner because we can speak away from Mike for a minute. Colin, 15 points now for Team Europe. Can you close that gap?
Well, there's still plenty of competition left. We've got some great javelin to go, great women's shot put as well. So for us, the fight is not over.
I walked across here with you and you were working it out. You were saying, I know what events are coming, we can still do it.
We can absolutely still do it. We still need a little bit of fortune, but we can do it.
And Jana, talking of fortune, the women's javelin's about to start. You've chosen this as your joker. Is it a good choice?
I certainly have. I think the girls, both Lou and Barbara, is going to be absolutely incredible. But the team to beat, unfortunately, is going to be Collins in Europe with their own Nicola from home crown advantage. So I think our girls are really going to have to pull one out today.
Well, the javelin's absolutely going to be superb. Let's watch it. They're about to go.
So this is the last of the field events to start this weekend. We've got the women's shot put already in action. This is the women's javelin. Asia Pacific have played their joker, and there's homegrown talent to watch in this one. Ogrodnikova. Let's start with the Africans. Joanne van Dijk, African silver medalist earlier this year, and her teammate will be Kelechi Wanaga, who just beat her to the gold medal at the African Championships. There they are. Wanaga, by the way, is only 20 years of age, studies in the States and was 6th in the Commonwealth Games. Van Dijk, the South African, on the left, former World Junior silver medalist. Both of them only 20. What a great experience here in Ostrava. Now Nikola Ogrodnikova will get a good reception, but it's the Asia-Pacific duo who come out first. Kelsey Lee Roberts, who prefers to go by Kelsey Barber, and Liu of China, bronze medalist in the World Championships last year. There is Ogrodnikova on the left with Christine Hassong. Hassong is the reigning European champion. Ogrodnikova got the silver behind her. She's the national champion. Listen to that reception. She also won in Lausanne and here in the Golden Spikes meeting that's been happening in this great stadium since 1961. A nice rehearsed opening there for Lila Dominguez, South American Games champion this year, and Cara Winger on the right, Pan American silver 3 years ago. Asia Pacific playing their jokers. Now here is Li Xiaogong in the women's shot put. That's well over 19 metres. What a career it's been for Gong. Olympic bronze in Beijing, silver in London. Finally became world champion last year after 3 times finishing in 3rd and once getting the silver. The fine Asian Games title in Jakarta a couple of weeks ago. She's winning just about everything. Looking, you would expect, to produce the biggest mark in the first round. 19-17, it's way down on what we know she's capable of, but she's in the lead temporarily. Early stages of the women's shot. Key moments here for the men's 3,000 metre steeplechase. I beg your pardon, the men's 3,000. We had the steeplechase yesterday with Conceslas Capruto waving to the crowd with 250 to go. Should be a good race, this one. Mark Scott, Great Britain, 5th in the Europeans, and it's one of the other Ingebrigtsen's older brother, Henrik. Always sports a great tash and trademark shades. Ingebrigtsen was a silver medalist in the Europeans, 1500 metre champion in the European champs back in 2012. Mohamed Ahmed of Canada, 4th in the 5,000 metres in the Olympic Games 2 years ago. Paul Chalimo got a silver in that race and picked up a bronze last year in London. They're a very, very good team. Edouard Pingoa, the African champion, and Molla, 5th in the World Half Marathon Championships earlier this year. He's the Ethiopian national champion over 5,000 metres. He's gone inside 13 minutes. Bahanu Bailu, Asian Games winner, the Bahraini. And on the right, Stuart McSween. McSween was only 5th in the Commonwealth Games earlier this year, but he's in cracking form now. Got his PB over the 5 down to 13.05, and he's run 3:34 for the 15. The Africans are playing their joker. And here is the homegrown star, Ogrodnikova. The European silver medalist. Oh, she was hoping for a big start, but she's over the line. A little rush of adrenaline. That one was comfortably over 55, looked around about the 60-metre mark, but 2 more attempts for the athlete from the Czech Republic. Meanwhile, Schwanitz in the shot put.
Team Europe being represented by Spanish, the defending Continental Cup champion. Gives it a roar. Oh, she likes it as well. Disturbing the tape of the 20-metre line. 18 metres and 88 in the first round. Her and Guber battling through these 3 rounds to be the top European to go to round number 4. Spanish's season best is 20 metres and 6. Very close to the 20-metre line. Oh, 19 metres and 73. She goes into pole position.
And ready now for the men's 3,000 meters.
So the men's 3,000 metres. Heinrich Ingebrigtsen going for Europe, McSween of Asia Pacific. Team Africa playing their joker. They've got Gitane Molla, 5th in the World Half Marathon Championships. Watch out for Paul Chilimo of the Americas, though. He got the silver in the Olympic Games 2 years ago. Baillieu is the Asian champion. Ahmed's running well. Yomif Kejelcha, 7:28. He came third, I think, in that incredible 5,000 metres, where Solomon Barega, the 18-year-old Ethiopian, became the 4th fastest in history over 5,000 metres. So a short, sharp burst for these distance specialists. 7.5 laps of the track. When we get round with 4 laps to go, they will start being eliminated. We're losing 1 per lap, which means as we approach the bell, there'll be 5, but when the bell sounds, only 4 will be allowed to complete the last circuit. And it's the Americas leading at the moment. Paul Chilimo, such a good athlete. Mohamed Ahmed, the Canadian Pan-American champion 3 years ago over the 10,000 metres. He's on his shoulder. Remember, the Africans are playing their joker here, and Heinrich Ingebrigtsen, the former European champion over 1,500 metres, is right at the back, but has got a really good turn of speed, and so too has Baillieu, who won the Lausanne Diamond League, where you may have seen a big clash between Barega and Kejelcha. One of the strangest disagreements we've seen on a track. They almost started beating each other up, and Baillieu came through and won that. So it's quite an intriguing race, this one, Catherine, and probably there's 2 or 3 men in this from different continents who can feel they're going to finish their season with a win.
Indeed, you see the yellow vest of Molla on the outside for Team Africa, but Paul Chilimo, well, he's totally controlling this pedestrian pace, it has to be said. Personal best in his last 2 races, Paul Chilimo. They're not going to be troubled anywhere near today, because it's about the points and the tactics, of course, that we know about now in this Continental Cup. Chilimo looks up at the scoreboard. Ingebrigtsen on that inside line, just like his brother was in the 1,500 metres. Hugging the inside line in the blue vest of Europe is Ingebrigtsen, but Paul Chilimo happily controlling this one, and everybody just as happy to follow him.
Chilimo's been very consistent over the last couple of years, followed up that silver in the Olympics when he was temporarily disqualified, and I think rightly reinstated for that medal. Followed that up with bronze last year. 12:57 in Brussels in that incredible race. 12:43. I still can't believe that an 18-year-old can run that fast. And McSween coming wide on the outside. He's had a fine second half of the season, a long time since he finished outside the medals in the Commonwealths. Hassan in the women's javelin. The European champion. Crowd have really enjoyed both javelin competitions, men's and women's. The other European, Ogrod Nikova, the homegrown star, had a no-throw by putting her foot over the line in the first round for her. 62.71, that's solid from the European. Right, back with this 3,000 metres. It's McSween leading, Ahmed in second. Chilimo looks very comfortable, doesn't he? Pingua, the African champion, we haven't really spoken much about him. And by the way, on the outside, he's only 16. Incredible. World Junior champion earlier this year. And they're all beginning to have a bit of a burn-up, because we'll see our first elimination here. Now, this is going to be interesting. The 16-year-old coming wide. Wow, it's a blanket, and I think it's the smaller of the 2 Americas, so it might well be, well, who is it? Maybe Baillieu. It's very, very close, and it is Baillieu. Wow. That's the first surprise we've seen in this Devil Take the Hindmost, because Baillieu would have been one of the favourites to win it. He's the Asian champion. He won the Lausanne Diamond League. Oh, and they're getting really frustrated with each other there. There was a massive shove from Ahmed there. And this is the first race where it hasn't been immediately obvious at the end of each circuit who's being eliminated, and tempers are beginning to fray. Right, they're virtually down to a flat-out sprint here towards the line. Ahmed's trying to come through on the inside, and it's Moller who loses out this time. So we've lost one of the Africans, and remember, the Africans are playing their jokers. So we've lost Bailu, the former Ethiopian. We've now lost Moller, who's had a brilliant year in terms of half marathons. He will be shown the paddle, and he'll be forced to stop. And now he does bring his race to a close.
So it's the first time really this weekend where we've seen the major pace difference. The fartlek running, easy down the back straight, and then they start to pick it up again. Look at Ingebrigtsen in 4th place at the moment. They're going to pick up the pace now, so they sprint down the home straight so they're not last. Then they'll drop it off again and pick back up again. So at the moment, it's the second European Scot that's at the back coming down the home straight. The British athlete Mark Scott's going to battle with the other African, Pingua. Here you go. Here's the battle from Scott.
Wow. That is too close to call. It might be Scott. It might be Scott. Now, this is changing the dynamic of how these races run entirely, because up until now, we have seen, and it is Scott, it's coming up on the board by a merest whisker. Scott is eliminated. Former US collegiate champion over 10,000 metres. It was very, very close. This is the first time we've seen this format of racing completely change the way it's done. It's almost become like a rep session. Watch this. Look at the youngster, Pingua, forcing his way through, and Scott just misses out, but it was ever so tight. Right, we're going to lose another.
I think Pingua, who was battling potentially with Europe's Mark Scott here, is going to be the one to be removed, because we've got the 4 main players now. Chelimo leading the way, Ingebrigtsen at the back of this pack of 4. It will be Pingua that goes at the bell.
A very intriguing men's 3,000 metres moves into the last lap. Pingua will be the man to be eliminated. He had to sprint to try and avoid elimination on the previous lap, and he used up all his energy. Right, Chelimo and Ahmed. These two trying to pull away. Chelimo leads. Remember, the Africans played their joker, so that's backfired on them. Chelimo is the Olympic silver medalist. He's just motioning to Ahmed to not clip his heels. McSween is off the back. Ingebrigtsen looks as though he's settling for 3rd. So who is going to be the first of the Americas to come home? Chelimo and Ahmed. Chelimo looks so good here. Ahmed has already settled for 2nd. It's a 1-2, so it's maximum points for the Americas. Ahmed checks over his shoulder. Ingebrigtsen is closing. Chelimo unchallenged. Ahmed 2nd, Ingebrigtsen 3rd, and McSween comes home for 4th. Chelimo was not to be denied, and for the first time, these end-of-lap elimination races really changed the dynamic of the race. It was tough. It was brutal. We saw people eliminated by hundredths of a second, but as we've seen so often, the class has risen to the top, and Chelimo, one of the favourites on paper, delivered a class finish.
And Team America's picked up a huge amount of points. Oh, that's nice. And the flowers as well are given across. A 1-2 for Team Americas. For Chelimo in total control in that race. The penultimate individual race on the track, just the men's 100 metres to come before the 4x4 mixed relay. Let's have a look at some of the action here from early doors. That's the shove, Rob, that you were talking about. Ahmed there wasn't having any of Ingebrigtsen.
And actually, I thought Chelimo was asking Ahmed to leave his heels. He was actually saying, come on, we need to pull away from Ingebrigtsen in 3rd. Maybe he sensed his Canadian teammate was a little bit tired. Well, there was all sorts going on in that race, there really was. Devil take the hindmost. Certainly supplying plenty of drama here in that men's 3,000 metres. The 1-2 for the Americas, and it's beginning to look good for their title aspirations. Chelimo and Ahmed first and second. Africa playing their joker, but that hasn't paid off for them on this occasion. Another 2 points. The Americas move ahead of the Europeans, who did finish in second place there. Remember, we still have these 2 field events ongoing, the women's javelin and the women's shot put. We've got the men's 100 to come and the mixed relay as well.
So they're the 4 athletes highlighted that will go through to round number 4 to get 2 finalists, Svanich, Saunders, Senecal and Gong. Go to round number 4 to get 1 throw potentially in a 5th round. We just need the top 2, remember. See their shot put women's semi-final, world champion, Olympic finalist, another world champion and the African champion. So here we go then, Raven Saunders. She's already set a season's best today, but it's all about the distance of this 4th round throw. It drops below the 20-metre line, 19 metres and 67 this season. She's only 9 centimetres shy of a lifetime best she set last year. Coached by Connie Price-Smith, 11 times the US champion, of course, Price-Smith. So she got good tutelage. So Raven Saunders, the American, awaits her distance for Team Americas. She'll be setting the target, as it were. Good season as well, second on the Diamond League in Monaco and Brussels. 19 metres and 27. That is the target for the other athletes. Senecal then for Team Africa. Ishka Senecal, the South African, the African champion at this event this year. She was also 3rd in the discus. 17 metres and 56 is a lifetime best this season. A 56 plus discus thrower as well. So 19 metres and 27 for Saunders. There's 2 huge names to come, of course, Gong and Svanich. The rotational technique falls below the 18-metre line. Her best therefore this afternoon in Ostrava. In round number 2, 17 metres and 10 centimetres. So not particularly far off her lifetime best this season for the Team Africa athlete. But as she awaits the distance, Li Xiaogong and Christina Svanich will be pacing around for their 4th round throw to get themselves in the top 2. 16 metres and 54, so not her best effort of the day. So, Gong of China. In London last year at the World Championship, she finally became a global champion after 2 silvers and 4 bronzes at past Olympic or World Championships. 10 out of 10 wins outdoors this year. She's looking for a throw to get herself into the top 2. Well, anyone sleeping in the Metsi Stadium this afternoon, having a little nod off before the men's 100. Clearly woken up then by Gong. Getting near that 20-metre line once again. Her best today, 19 metres and 44 in the 3rd round. So we know what she's capable of. I'm confident she's going to take the lead off Saunders. Yes, 19 metres and 63. So Gong has a place in the final. Saunders is the one that could be knocked out of the 5th round by Christina Svanich. Had her twins, a boy and a girl, in July last year. She only started back training in January this season after the birth of her twins. Silver at the Europeans, the defending Continental champion. Looking to surpass the 19 metres and 27 of Saunders. Oh, well, she didn't like it. She stamps in frustration in the throwing circle. She's gone over 20 meters this year, twice the European champion. Has she surpassed the 19 meters and 27 of the America's Raven Saunders, or will it be Saunders and Gong that battle in the 5th round? She waits. Has she just done the last throw of 2018, or has she got one more? No, 19 meters and 7. The two athletes that will battle it out in this women's shot put will be Raven Saunders and Li Xiaogong. The 2016 Olympic finalist against the world champion from London. One more throw to determine the winner, not just for the prize money but for the points as well. The Americas now taking on Asia Pacific. Saunders looks ready. 3rd at the US Championships. 5th at the Olympics in Rio, 10th in London last year at the World Championships. This is the distance that matters now in the 5th round. Raven Saunders with her final putt. Well, it's over the 18-meter line. Potentially is the shortest distance she's done today after a no throw in the 1st round. Her best 19 meters and 74 in round number 3. But that's the target that's going to have to be chased by Li Xiaogong. She dances as she waits. Twice an NCAA champion over in America. 18 meters and 39 is the distance that Li Xiaogong has to surpass. Saunders with the 8-point position at the moment. You'd think that Gong, with that scorecard of every throw over 19 meters, she's got to make sure she doesn't do a no throw, of course. Well, she popped it around about 19 meters. But she gives herself a round of applause. Well done indeed. The women's shot put, 19-17, 19 meters and 58, 19 meters and 44, 19 meters and 63. And to take the win in the women's shot put and win the Continental Cup for Asia Pacific, Li Xiaogong. Oh, Raven Saunders is still dancing.
I love those moves, Catherine. I think she can out-shimmy you on the dance floor with that.
She can throw a shot put away further as well. 19 meters and 25, Gong ends with. Well, a bit of dancing, a bit of shot putting in the first week in September. A lot of fun has been had by all the athletes here in Ostrava. I'd give 8 points, you see, to Raven just for the moves.
I really hope she's at the official party tonight, because I want to see that in full flow again. A great spirit this competition has been played out in this weekend. It's been a long, tough campaign for all the men and women here. Gong finishes a great season on top once again. So we've still got the women's javelin, that's edging towards the end of the qualification round, the men's 100, and then the mixed relay, and that will bring our season to a close.
So here's confirmation then of that women's shot put. Gong gets the 8 points for Asia Pacific. Americas with Raven Saunders, 7 points. Spanish, 3rd for the European side.
Kelsey Lee Roberts prefers to be known by the name Kelsey Lee Barber because she married her coach Mike back in April. Remember, Asia Pacific have played their joker. Barber trying to supersede the effort of her teammate Liu. Liu is in 2nd place so far with 61.18 from the 2nd round. This is the last of the field events to finish. Leading at the moment, by the way, is Christine Hasson, the European champion, with 62.71 in the first round, 58.06. So there'll be no further participation for the Australian representing Asia Pacific. Here's how the leaderboard looks. This is quite significant. So it's 2.27 for Europe and 2.44 for the Americas. 17 points the deficit. Right, time for the last individual track race on the programme here this weekend. The men's 100 metres. Chirande Martina, 6th in the European Championships over 100 metres earlier this year. The silver medalist 2 years ago was Jack Ali Harvey, former Jamaican, now flying the flag for Turkey. Martina will go in 1, Harvey in 5. What a team this is. The Americas, Johan Blake, the second fastest in history. Noah Lyles on the right has been the star really this year, certainly over 200 metres. 4 times he's run inside 19.7. Blake in 2, Lyles in 6. A great duo from Africa. Akani Simbine, the Commonwealth champion back in April. African champion as well this year. Arthur Cisse, African silver medalist. National record this year, 9.94. Simbine in 3, Cisse in 7. What a season it's been for Su of China, representing Asia Pacific. 9.91, equaling the Asian record this year. 9.92 when he won the Asian Games. And Al Harfi, Asian Championship bronze a few years ago from Oman, he's on the outside in 8. This is the lineup for the men's 100 metres. Su of Asia Pacific in 4, watch Lyles in 6, and Blake coming back to form on the inside. There is Johan Blake. Watch out as well for Simbine. He's in 3, Su in 4, Harvey 5. There's Noah Lyles. He will be desperate to finish his season with a win. Al Harfi on the outside. Really hard to call a winner from this one. Lyles has been one of the new stars of the sport, but that's Johan Blake. Blake has run inside 10 seconds 4 times towards the end of this season. But there's Lyles, national champion, 9.88. Loves his music, loves his dancing. Is he going to have the last laugh at the end of a season that has seen him become one of the sport's big stars? The men's 100 metres. Martina in 1, Blake in 2, Simbine 3, Su of China in 4, Harvey 5, Lyles 6, Cisse 7, Al Harfi in 8. An expectant hush descends on the stadium. The last individual track race of the 2018 IAAF Continental Cup. They're away first time. What a race this is going to be, and Lyles has left himself a little bit to do. Look at Su. Blake's pulled up Su and Lyles, and I think Noah Lyles has finished his season in a flourish. 10.01. Disappointment for Blake, who felt his leg go. That's why he's looking a little bit tearful. Su ran really well. Lyles left it late, but he has come through to take it. 10.01. Su thought he had it there, but Lyles showed that 200-metre strength, and one of the stars of the sport has delivered again. This time it's outside 10 seconds, but he won't care about that. He's finished the season as number 1.
Well, he throws his flowers away. Hopefully nothing serious for Johan Blake. We're so much enjoying him, been back in the mix of world-class 100-metre running. But Su, he always starts fast. We know that. The world indoor silver medalist over 60 metres in Birmingham. But boy, did he make Noah Lyles work. But they're only 3/100ths of a second difference on personal best and season's best. It was always going to be close. But look how hard Noah Lyles on the left of your shot there had to dig to pass Su. He wanted that, Noah Lyles. He wanted to end his season on a high. He kept relaxed. Look on the left of your shot. Look at the difference between Lyles and Sue. What a super final individual race at the Continental Cup. And Noah Lyles, you say he's such a wonderful character. There's the captain's lounge. Jana Pittman, the captain of Asia Pacific, looking for Sue to do something, but not today, because Noah Lyles, 2/100ths of a second, takes the win.
Great performance from Noah Lyles. We cannot wait to see what he's going to do next season. There'll be all sorts of promoters queuing up to try and get a piece of that action. Africa and Asia Pacific sharing the points there. Now, this is how the women's javelin looks. It's Hassan, Winger, Van Dijk and Liu taking the 4 throws in this 4th round that we're calling the semi-final. Van Dijk is the African Championship silver medalist. Hassan had a great effort here in the 1st round. Liu, the Asian record holder, bronze medalist last year in London. And Winger, Pan American silver 3 years ago. Got a season's best in Zurich, so rounding into some form at the right time. 1 throw for each of the 4 women. The top 2, if you joined us late, will come back for 1 further attempt. Joanne Van Dijk, World Junior silver medalist 2 years ago. African silver this year, only 20. What an experience this is for her. 52 metres, her best effort so far. And it's a long way shy of the 55-metre board. She has thrown 57.32, a lifetime best. But no disrespect to the young South African. We would expect this to be a tough round from which to emerge, bearing in mind we've got the likes of Liu and Hassan yet to throw. So 51.09. It's her 2nd best throw. Remember, the first 3 throws are disregarded. It just gives us an indication as to what kind of form we think the athletes are in. Liu He, Asian Games silver medalist. Brilliant bronze in the Worlds last year, got a silver in Beijing. 67.69 she threw in Halle in May. She won the London Diamond League. 63.88 was a decent effort in the 3rd round. She's got to beat 51.09. She will certainly expect to do that and to send a message to Hassan, the European champion, who'll throw next. Big roar from the Chinese woman. Another good effort. She moves into the lead. She only needs to finish in the top 2 to have 1 final throw to have the chance to become the last individual champion here at the Continental Cup. A brilliant mixed relay will round off our athletics program as the Americas hope to turn the screw as the leading continent. 61.69. It's been a solid set of throws by Liu. Now Hassan, the European champion, needs to beat 51.09, and we've got Cara Winger, the American, going next, so there is 1 more name still to throw in the mix. They really love their field events here. Perhaps a little further than Liu's. It doesn't matter. The scores are almost irrelevant from this round once the 2 leaders have qualified for their 5th. We only come back to the scores in the 4th if both women throwing in the last round have a no throw. It looks there or thereabouts with Liu's effort, and indeed it is. 61.76, 7 centimetres further than her Chinese rival, with 1 thrower still to come, Winger. And here she is. She's going to need to produce a throw better than 61.69. Pan American silver medalist from 3 years ago. It's a good effort. I'm not sure it's going to be enough to challenge Liu and Hassan, taking 1 further throw. Eight times national champion in the United States and was 8th in Beijing in the women's javelin. It was close, but not close enough. Just over 60 metres, so Liu and Hassan will return for one last throw in the 5th round for the title.
It's getting really interesting as well, Rob, because I can tell you the team standings after 35 of the 37 events, with just this women's javelin and therefore the mixed 4x4 to go. Team Americas are 19 points ahead of Europe. So Europe are leading this women's javelin throw, but their second athlete in this competition is down in 7th. But then you look at the Americas so far in this competition, Domingos is in 5th and Winger is now in 3rd. So with 8 points for a win in the relay and of course potential points here in this women's javelin, it could go down to the wire with just 2 events to be counted in the scoring system.
That's what we want. A nice tight finish. Liu, the 3rd best thrower in the world this year, but she's up against Hassan, who's the 2nd best thrower in the world this year. 2 of the very best in women's javelin, fighting to finish their season on top. Here goes the 29-year-old for Asia Pacific, won the London Diamond League, 67-69. It's a huge roar, but the performance is not reflected by the volume with which she released the spear. So, this last throw by Hassan could help the Europeans to close the gap and put a little bit of pressure on the Americas quartet in the mixed relay. 57.88, that's below par from Liu. So there's a big wide open opportunity here for the European champion, Christine Hassan. She's only 24. She won that European title by a gigantic margin. The biggest winning margin since something like 78. It was ludicrous. Now, she needs to beat 57.88 here to take maximum points and give the Europeans a chance come the 4x4. Listen to how the crowd are responding. They've really been a great contribution to this atmosphere. Wow! The pressure has obviously got to the European champion. That was way, way, way below that which we would have expected. And certainly, I'm sure that Liu would not have expected to win this javelin competition with 57.88, but she has. 55.05, that was on a plate for Hassan, and she has inadvertently dented the European hopes come the mixed 4x4. Wow, nobody was expecting Liu to take that with 57.88, but she has. 55.05, Hassan finishes 2nd. Asia Pacific are celebrating because they played their joker in that event. They won't challenge the leaderboard, but they'd love to close the gap a little bit on the Europeans in 2nd. Liu has taken it with what for her is a very below par 57.88. She did throw 63.88 in the 3rd round. Hassan wilting a little bit there under pressure. Wowee. A little bit of a surprise there, Catherine. We're just looking to try and get the overall standings.
They're going to factor in that women's javelin throw, and then very shortly we'll get the team standings after 36 of the 37 events. But you're right, Rob. Europe have dropped a couple of points there. Here we go. Here's some confirmation for us then, the result of that women's javelin throw.
Well, Liu has taken it. 8 points, Hassan in 2nd. Disappointment there for Europe. That's a warm and generous embrace. It has been a tough, tough season for all these women. No more individual events to come, just this mixed 4x4. And we're going to talk in just a moment about the tactics, because we think that bookending a competition with the man on first and fourth is the best way, but some of the teams disagree by the formations we've seen. Africa in fourth, Asia Pacific third, and look at that, 21 points. The Americas have taken it with one event to spare. Can they finish with a flourish? Europe will not successfully defend the Continental Cup title.
The final track action, the final action overall at this year's Continental Cup here at the Meter Stadium in Ostrava. The 4x400 meters relay mixed. You can have 2 men and 2 women and put them in any order you like. This is a good team, Boklowetsky, Okizi, Semenya and Taby. The Asia Pacific team, Solomon, Goodwin, Ruby and Connolly. The team from Europe, they walk out from the dark in the smoke. Hudson Smith, Paulet, De Wits, Viti, Aesthetic. And then the Americas team, we know they've already won the Continental Cup. They'll want to end with a bang. Taylor Santos, McPherson and Miller Weibo. So, the mixed relay, well, it was first staged at the World Youth Championships in 2015, the Bahamas World Relays last year, which the Bahamas team won, much to the excitement of those in the stadium. And it's planned to be introduced into Tokyo 2020.
One event to go here at Captain's Corner, and there's a lot of tension, there really is. This is a very unique event, a mixed relay. Neza, I'll start with you. Have you seen a mixed relay before? Are you looking forward to this?
Yes, I like it. But pour le relais, vraiment, c'est une discipline qui est extraordinaire. Faire participer les garçons et les filles, c'est extraordinaire.
You like the fact females and males run together, anything can happen. Jana, it's very interesting, the dynamic of the team. Have you chosen to go boy, girl, or is it all boys to start? What have you done?
We've gone all boys to start, so I think we needed to get off with a really hard first sort of 800 metres, and then hopefully the girls can hang on.
And Colin, I hate to, rub it in, but you are behind the Americas. Is your relay choice a strong one?
It's a very strong one, and we're happy with that. But I think America may be just in the lead in that sense. But we've gone boy, girl, girl, boy.
Okay, and Mike, traditionally, the Americas, very good quarter milers, good 400-meter runners. Whatever order you've gone with, do you think you're going to win this race?
Well, we started off great yesterday, and we're going to finish up another victory. We got a strong team. I told you when we came up, Colin. I told you.
Mike, are you really proud of your captaincy, the way that you've chosen your jokers? Do you think you've been a good captain for the Americas?
Well, I hope I motivated them. They put on a good show, and they came to compete.
Would you like to be out there? Jana, you used to do the 400 as well, relays and the hurdles. Would you love to be out there in a mixed relay?
Absolutely, but I think the team is going to do a fantastic job without me, so I just hold them back at this stage. And all the team Asia Pacific has been incredible across this competition, so I'm very proud of them all.
Well, I've just realised, standing here, there are 4 of you, and it could be a mixed relay. We could, you've got trainers on, guys. Could you still do it, Colin?
I can tell you now, no, definitely not. Unless Jana's happy to run 380 meters and myself and Mike 10 meters
10
each.
meters, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, Neza, you actually still have the championship record for the 400 hurdles. How fit are you? Could you still do a relay?
Yes. Okay.
I don't need to be able to speak French to understand that. That's a simple yes. That's fighting talk, Mike. Can you do a 400? It's a long way for you as a jumper.
Well, I ran a little bit in college, but those days are long gone.
Okay, so I'll finish with you, Mike. You really would like to finish with a win. Will the Americas win this last event, or will Colin over there be smiling?
Well, like I said, when we combine all the Americas team together, it's almost not fair, But I think we'll finish up the win, though.
Well, Ostrava, this is a very unique 4x4 you're about to watch. Enjoy it.
Well, thank you, Ewan Thomas. 44.36, the British record holder still himself over 400 metres. Around 49.59 in my time, add in Rob Walker. And maybe Colin, he looks the fittest. Half-decent team, that. Said nobody ever. So the final event then, this mixed 4x4 relay. History has showed us, Rob Walker, that a male on the first leg and a male on the last leg, I alluded, is the most successful combination at the recent championships that you visited, at the World Relays last year. The Bahamas won it by going Gardner, Miller, Weibo, Strawn and Matthew. But our teams are mixed up here. We just saw a glimpse of Christian Taylor, first leg for the Americas. who knows?
It's really interesting, this. I think, having watched the Asian Games mixed relay and the brilliant world relays that always happen in the Bahamas, I think man on first, because it's such a long leg, man on anchor, but we might be proved wrong. Here we go.
So the Americas there, you saw a glimpse of Taylor. He's got Santos, McPherson and Miller-Weibo. There's the European squad being led off by Hudson Smith, to Borley, to De Witt, to Sviti. The Asia-Pacific team, Solomon will lead them on their way. Goodwin, Ruby and Connolly are their final two athletes. And then Africa in lane number 3. Well, they're starting with their female athlete, Boglagetsui, to Akizi, to Caster Semenya, to a male athlete of Fabi, second in the 400 metres, of course, in 45-1 here. That is their combination. If you've never watched a mixed relay before, do enjoy this. It's absolutely superb, and I can tell you the athletes love running in it as well. Christian Taylor leading off the Americas. 45.07, second 400 metre runner. He's won the triple jump earlier today. Looking to pass the baton on to Santos, who was 6th in the 400 metres. Matthew Hudson-Smith on the first leg for Europe, 4th in the 400 metres here. He'll hand on to Borley. The first leg of the final event, the mixed 4x400 metre relay. So 3 guys taking on 1 lady in this final race. Christian Taylor starting well in the outside line in this mixed 4x4 relay. They cut across. Taylor, Hudson-Smith, Solomon. A strong start from the USA team.
Very good running. And Hudson-Smith having to dig deep a little bit here. What a great effort this is by Solomon, by the way, Catherine. A fantastic run for Asia Pacific. Now Hudson-Smith, the European champion, beginning to show his strength.
Stephen Solomon dying a little bit, the Australian. Christian Taylor popping his cheeks out for the Americas. So, Borley, Santos, Asia Pacific. Goodwin in 3rd for the Asia Pacific team, but the capable talent of a Borley down the back straight for Europe. Nice and controlled for the European team. 4 guys together on this leg. And it is Europe who are leading. Santos trying to get back on the European team here. 6th in the individual 400 metres here.
Santos is a class act, and he's coming back to some form this year, and he's coming back to Kevin Borley. Borley's had some great days individually and in the relay. He is just managing to hold this advantage. 2 men. Now we see the 2 legs from the leading nations in the women.
So Caster Semenya in your shot, trying to pick up the baton now. The European team have dropped the baton. Borley to De Witt, an absolute disaster for them. They're currently in 3rd place. You can see them there. Let's have a quick replay at this. Kevin Borley stretching. She's got it, and then she drops it. So the advantage has been taken by all of the teams. The even spaces on these 4 teams on this 3rd leg of this mixed 4x400 metre relay. McPherson looking good here for the Americas. 3rd in the 400 metres, 50.82 seconds leads the way.
McPherson will hand over to Shawnee Miller-Weibo, and Miller-Weibo showed all her strength when she beat Schiffers over 200. This is going to be a brilliant last lap for the Olympic 400 metre champion. Asia Pacific in 2nd, Europe dead level with Africa. Semenya closed right down on the Europeans on that penultimate circuit.
So Shawnee Miller-Weibo, barring disaster, nobody's going to catch the Olympic 400 metre champion, but we're keeping our eyes on Tebe, 2nd in the 400 metres. He's working his way down the back straight. He's in 3rd place at the moment. He's looking to overtake Connolly in the Asia Pacific team. Tebe goes into 2nd for Africa, but Shawnee Miller-Weibo victorious here over the 200 metres. Tebe's not going to catch the Olympic star. Shawnee Miller-Weibo brings it home. Taylor, Santos, McPherson and Miller-Weibo, 3:13.01. The Americas win the final event from Africa, from Asia Pacific, and Europe with the drop baton completely shot themselves in the foot. but what a win for that team. And they went man, man, woman, woman. It's all about the talent in the team.
I guess if you've got the best quartet, it doesn't matter which order you choose to run them in. A real shame for the Europeans. Borlée had run a good leg. De Witt looked initially as though she had the baton in her hand, and after changing from left to right, she dropped it. I'd be very interested. This is the changeover. Europe in the lead, one stride, it hit her thigh. It hit the top of her thigh. I'd be very interested, Catherine, to see Caster Semenya's split. She absolutely flew round that third leg. Miller Weibo had the big advantage. TB is a great runner. I think his PB is something like 44.02. So we expected him to close on that last circuit, but he'd been left too much to do. That's the intriguing element when you've got a man on anchor running against a woman, because he's obviously going to close the gap on Miller Weibo. But the Olympic 400-metre champion, the Commonwealth 200-metre champion, was not to be denied. The fairy tale finish for the Americas. They are the champions. We knew that before the last event, but they finished it in style.
Yeah, the team was strong, wasn't it? You go off with Christian Taylor, and you finish with Shawnate Miller Weibo. There's confirmation, DQ, unfortunately for Europe in that final event. But the Americas take the points. Just a straightforward 8.642 in that 4x4 mixed relay. It really was a fun event to sign off this Continental Cup, but here are the final standings. Africa finishing fourth with 142 points. Asia Pacific finishing third with 188. Europe second with 233. They couldn't defend the title they won in Marrakesh in 2014 because the Americas win with 262 points. Good depth across all the events this weekend for the Americas sees them the 2018 Continental Cup trophy winners.
No, they were brilliant right from the very start. They got out of the blocks metaphorically and literally. Only once across the entire weekend were they led by another continent. Europe going ahead by one single point in the early stages of this afternoon, but it didn't last very long. We had some brilliant performances from the Americas, we really did. And it's a fine pool of talent to draw from. The United States, Canada, some brilliant South Americans. Katrina Bargrin contributing brilliantly in the triple jump and the long jump. Taylor reigns supreme again in his events.
I think you'll all agree, what an absolutely amazing 2 days of athletics. We've enjoyed it at the Captain's Corner. Neza, I'll start with you. Team Africa, obviously, you would have liked to have won, but how much have you personally enjoyed this weekend?
Vraiment, je suis très heureuse, très contente d'être ici avec ce beau public. Vraiment, it's very nice.
Very nice, great public. You have been an absolutely fantastic crowd. And Mike, I know for yourself, with Colin in particular, there's been a lot of rivalry, friendly rivalry. You've been winding him up a little bit, but the last event went your way. Proud of your team?
Very proud of the America's team. And anytime I get a chance to beat Colin at anything, I'm happy.
And in terms of the concept, it's been a brilliant weekend, I think, you know, with the long distance races where someone is eliminated, with the mixed relays. Do you think this is the future of the sport?
I think so. It was really exciting. It was really a lot of fun for me.
You didn't have to do anything. You just sat there eating cakes and drinking lemonade.
Sit there and look good.
You always look good. Jana, I'll go to you next. Talking of looking good, I had to come to you next. Although, Colin, you obviously look fantastic. But Jana, you've, I think, out of everybody, perhaps made some of the wisest decisions. Your Joker cars have been brilliant.
3 out of 4, I think we did pretty well. I mean, the performances speak for themselves, so I'm really proud of my team, and you know, it's only going to go upwards from here.
And Colin, you've won everything there is to win in this sport. Would you like to still be out here? Look how fit you are as a young man. You could still do all these events.
Did you not see my Joker, Shebenkov, run there? I mean, it was an incredible performance in the 110-meter hurdles, which, of course, I was very proud to see him do that. It's been a lot of fun, and I think events like this are really important for our sport. It gives a little bit of twist. It gives the public something else that they can be interested in. So I think the innovation side of it worked marvelous.
You didn't quite beat the Americas. I don't want to rub it in, but you think you've done a good job as a captain? Are you proud?
I'm very proud of the team. You know, they've come off a long season themselves, European Championships themselves, getting themselves ready for this, and trying to lift yourself sometimes can be difficult. But all in all, it was a good, strong performance by Europe.
You might want to turn your back because I think we are about to welcome the winning team, which of course is the Americas.
So the official presentation is about to take place. Europe held this unique honour 4 years ago, but after a magnificent 2 days by Team America, it is they who have come out on top. A superb performance from so many different nations. The Americans, the Canadians, the South Americans. They were not to be denied. An emphatic victory in the end. Here they come, using blaring. And, you know, Catherine, the purists would say it's not traditional. They've shaken up the rules a little bit, but you know what? I think the athletes have really enjoyed this as a climax to the season. They've earned good prize money. The field events got excellent exposure, which is what they always deserve and sometimes don't get. And we saw some really good season's best PBs. Ingebrigtsen, a national record, 6.93 in the long jump for Colombia. I think it's been a great weekend.
It's been an exciting weekend. I think some of the athletes will have enjoyed the changes more than others in certain events. But look at that trophy, the Continental Cup trophy, Czech handmade crystal glass, 110 crystal batons, Rob. Each athlete will get to take one of those, created in the oval of this Metsky Stadium. The centre glass, well, that goes to the winning area federation of Team Americas. Noah Lyles. But you know, when you're an athlete, Rob, and it's an end of season thing like this, you are celebrating the fact that you are now ready to rest, eat, drink and party. These athletes are absolutely shattered after a busy 2018, but they put in some wonderful performances this weekend, a very, very enjoyable weekend of athletics.
You're right in terms of the length of a season. Early September's always tiring for these world-class athletes. When you add into the mix the World Indoors back in March, the Commonwealths, for many of these athletes, early April, it's been a very, very long campaign, and they need to rest well this winter because it's going to be an even longer season next year with the World Champs not starting till something like September the 28th. So 2019 is going to be even longer.
When you add in everybody's national championships, those European championships, it really has been a busy year, and all the Diamond League meetings, of course. But no, a great weekend has been had, and well done Team Americas for taking the title here, and well done Ostrava as well. I have to tell you that Seb and Libor have really put on a good show here. Great hospitality, good world-class athletics, and the deserving team, the deserving continent takes the title.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the official athlete party tonight. We might have a few glasses of orange juice, Catherine, Mary and myself. An amazing assembled talent from all across the Americas continent, and they have delivered the knockout blow at the end of a sensational season. And even though it's still daylight, we're finishing with the fireworks.
Well, Donald Thomas taking pictures, Noah Lyles taking pictures, Mike Powell, the captain of Team America, champion bowl. Wow, that 100-meter back straight set alight with fireworks. Absolutely superb scenes here. That was the loudest noise of the weekend, signalling the end of the track and field 2018 season for most.
I think it's been a great year. People were a little bit worried about what we might be experiencing in the post-Bolt era, and no disrespect to the legendary Jamaican. His time has come and gone. He's on to pastures new, and so too is the sport. Ingebrigtsen has had a sensational end to her season. I wonder whether she will have a proper go at the long jump next year after 6.93 with that national record. It has been absolutely superb. We're still waiting for the official presentation. I can't wait for 2019. We're watching from our commentary position. There's a really intense smell of fireworks here up in the box. The home straight is covered in ticker tape. I reckon they'll be picking that up for at least another 3 weeks or so. There are, he's waiting, he's doing the individual presentations of the batons. The president of the IAAF, Sebastian Coe, who said that there'll be one or two who don't necessarily like everything that's been done this weekend, but they said, listen, we've got to try things. It's the end of a season. Devil take the hindmost. Yes, of course, we're not going to see elimination in the Olympic Games or the World Championship, but it's an opportunity to try a few new things. The local organising committee have done a phenomenal job, and those individual batons made of handmade crystal are being handed out. Miller Weibo, what a great year for her. 400, 200, she's won just about everything. Inside 49 seconds as well. Libor Van Hank, president of Czech Republic Athletics. So it has been a superb couple of days from Catherine Merry and myself, Rob Walker. We hope you've enjoyed this weekend. We hope you've enjoyed the season. See you in 2019.